Morning, people. It is Thursday, the 24th. I was going to say August. 24th of October. Welcome to TDA, the day after. Your favorite news platform and the home of popular culture as defined by the culture. And I am one of your hosts for today. Currently the only one in here, Martin Royalty. Brent is here with me though. Yeah. The two Black Kings are en route.
Morning. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Love your hair.
Thank you. Do you know what? I really like it. I absolutely love it. But I was in such a rush this morning that I couldn't style it properly. So I've just gone for, it's got like loose waves.
Okay.
So one side has dropped, the other side hasn't. Yeah. And I could have styled it, but I was in a rush.
All right.
So I've just put it up in a ponytail.
So there's more goodness to come, you're saying?
There's absolutely more goodness to come.
All right. Okay. Love it.
By the grace of God. Daryl Blake.
All right. So everybody, I'm probably going to mention this again mid-show and then at the end of the show. Our brethren, best friend, father,
Fave.
professor.
Okay.
He is up for an award, but you need to go and vote for him.
Yes, please.
I will drop the link in the chat. During the show, I would love for you all to basically go fill out your details.
Please.
And the other categories for other people, so you can have a ball. It's the only time I'm going to advocate for you all to be not focused on what it is we're doing whilst we're doing it.
You know?
This is far too important.
I mean, they're good at that though, anyway.
Yeah, they definitely are. So let me just drop the link in the chat. All right. Let me see. Boom. Paste.
Yes, please. And please, when you vote as well, make sure you check your email just in case they email you to confirm. Because some people do that. It's annoying. I've already voted. What do you mean go back and confirm? But just in case, please have a look.
Okay, here is the link. In fact, I'm going to pin this.
Thank you.
Pin this. And another fantastic announcement. Look here. You know how it is? I've been letting everybody know that Dr. Mani is going to be speaking on the 26th.
Absolutely.
Well, tickets done, sold out.
Big up. Love that.
And word on the road is that it's because of Dr. Mani. Oh my gosh. Do
you know what though?
Oh my gosh.
I am not shocked. I'm not surprised.
Ticket
because
sales
it sounds about right.
When it is we started saying that Dr. Mani will be there.
Will be there.
So,
but I hope some people know that men are not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Because you might want to give you, them tickets on. But big up Dr. Mani every single time, man.
Every single time.
Brent.
All right. So I dropped that clip yesterday.
You did?
Yeah. And I've been reading like some of the comments in it.
But from like racist whites. So.
Yeah, racist whites. But I'm also reading the comments from fellow blacks in it. And
I wondered what adjective was going to go with the blacks. I did wonder.
No, because I have to now be more cognizant, more conscious of what it is I say about this going forward. Because like something dawned on me, and I don't know if it is that you guys would agree with this particular thought, right? Do you know the vitriol that occurs each time it is that we, step back into the COVID conversation, or the Brexit conversation, or the Kanye West conversation? I'm seeing that the people who don't agree with my take, I think in part, they feel as though like we're ostracizing them as black people.
As in we're saying
like
they're
we're
black
questioning
enough. Their blackness.
Because how on earth could you be on that particular side saying that particular thing? Right? So there's extra vim in their cockles when it is they're remonstrating, communicating why it is they feel the way they feel. Because on top of what they feel, they also are hearing for us that they're coons, they're sellouts, they're jigaboos.
So they were triggered.
Yes, but, I think it's valid though. I don't know if I should say it's triggered, but yeah, it's triggered.
They're triggered. They're triggered.
Are we calling names though? We're not really doing.
No, but the thing is, we haven't in this room.
Have we?
We haven't called him his name.
But sometimes it's tantamount to that.
What's tantamount?
Because
What do you
remember,
mean?
all the people in this room,
Same.
pro-black, right? Currently, the people currently in this room, pro-black, right? And a lot of them know that.
Oh no, I get it.
Let me just talk about the people in the chat now who basically are on the other side, the opposite side of where we are sat, right? And especially Esther, how you said yesterday, your empathy is it's shifted a bit, but you're still like that's unjust,
Yeah,
right?
so, yeah.
But there are
Nothing's
some
wrong.
people who do not like what those types of people
Yeah.
have done to the community, could have even done to their families.
Yeah, I get it.
Right? And how he's being depicted, it's an archetype of a black man. And they have kind of experienced that particular black man throughout their years, whether it's in primary school, secondary school, college, university, even in the workplace. Obviously, that type of black man is not in the workplace. Depends
They
on
cosplay.
Depends on what workplace.
Some of them are working for the top institutions of this land.
So I believe that there are many, 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 if not the majority of people who tune into us in the TD community.
Yeah.
They're all pro-black too.
Yeah.
Right? So if we are here saying, how could you be black and be for this?
Yeah.
Obviously, in their minds, we're questioning their blackness.
Do you know what though? I feel like I get that, but sometimes, obviously, there are situations where someone cannot say something, but they're saying what they're saying.
Yeah.
But then sometimes as well, you can also assume someone's saying something based off your personal convictions that they haven't exactly said.
Yeah, it could be projecting, 100%.
Well, I wouldn't say projecting because people turn off when you start using psychological words. But, you know, you start to think people are saying something and whatnot.
Yeah.
But to be honest, when I started seeing the videos of Chris's history, because I didn't know that he had said history, and I think even the day before, I'd even said, what day is it today? Thursday. So on a Tuesday, I think I'd even said something about, like, he wasn't even the one they were looking for. Something like that. I don't even know. But because I didn't know he had such history. But when I saw that, I thought, like people wouldn't embarrass you. I don't like stuff like that because it just, all it does, and I know I don't typically care what white people think. I don't think we should live in a world where we're like, oh, we look like this to white people or whatever. But I can understand why people are very, very annoyed in the way that they are, because someone like who lived the life that Chris lives fuels that narrative, that negative stereotype that is about black people in society, in Britain. Do you get what I mean? So it's like, in this case where it's clearly, because those people know that it's unjust. If we sat down with them and actually get to the bottom of it, they will tell you that it's unjust, kind of like Black Lad Travel was saying. But I think it's a thing where there's just that annoyance of like, this is actually an important thing that we actually need to stand up and talk and speak against, because this is absolutely foul. But because you just had to just do these things, you had to be a criminal and live to these stereotypes, it's embarrassing for me to even have to then have to fight this fight. Do you get what I mean? So I feel like some of the people's annoyance and clear disdain for Chris and whatever else is to do with what he stands for, and the fact that they can't now boldly and confidently say that. Do you get what I mean? It's like, basically it's embarrassed them. It's embarrassed them. So I can understand how people are obviously have that vim that they have, but I think that kind of similar to the conversation we had yesterday, if you're going to have a conversation and ask, was that just? Was that right to have happened? Like, did the police have the power to have done that? In the ideal world, I would like to think that everyone is on a no. Even the people that are like, well, you know, it is what it is. He's a criminal. Obviously not the whites. I'm talking about the black people. But I think that when we have that conversation, people attach justness to what he deserved because he lived a reckless life.
So this is what I'm saying, and we're going into that same conversation that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because some people clearly say, and very clean, they'll put their face to it on internet as well.
Yeah.
Any paedophile deserves to be killed.
Yeah.
they would say that bold face.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And where there are other people who be like, what are you talking about? Mm-hmm. You don't deserve to just take somebody's life just because of that.
Yeah.
So I can understand why some people would say, yes, he deserves to die, because even yesterday, he was looking to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, he'll be looking to kill somebody. Next week, he'll be looking to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I understand the argument. It's now dawned on me. Mm-hmm. So I have to be, just me. I'm just talking about myself, to be honest.
No,
when it is basically talking about this particular thing, I have to be a bit more conscious. The same way how I need to be conscious with the whole COVID conversation and the Brexit and the black people kind of voting for Trump or liking Trump. I have to be more conscious.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is. It is.
Like, and only,
What did you say?
I said
Yeah,
yes.
but it's in only reading
These comments that you
bit,
understand.
I just threaded it to all the other things.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because I now know that I'm questioning the blackness. If it is, I'm saying, why are you voting for Trump for? Or why would you want Trump in power? I'm definitely questioning their blackness.
Well.
And in my head, I'm definitely doing it, but just subconsciously, 100%. Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about? Do you know he doesn't like you? And he's like,
fair,
I know he
that
doesn't,
is-
but neither does Kamala.
That is the question. Allegedly, I don't know how
In
people
their
are
minds,
woke
they're probably thinking the
No,
same
but I don't know how
because of
people are
it is that
woke.
they're moving.
about the media and how the media tries to control your minds around, and no one's and they can't put that together with Kamala. I think it's so crazy to me. Like, I think it's so funny how literally this woman's blackness has been questioned, like has been the biggest topic of conversation beyond anything else. It's wild.
Yeah, it's not about her blackness though.
But it is though, because it's all about she's not black.
No, the comment I made just now.
No. But I just thought of the wider situation. But I think that
Yeah.
my empathy anyway it's nothing bad. I still feel bad for his family. I feel it's sad that a child has to grow up without a father. It's sad that her partner, well, if he wasn't abusing her, if he was, then no, well.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, because sorry, I'm saying things that let's shame my game, child. But for me, yeah, my biggest argument on Tuesday was about the value of life, and people not seeing the value of life. But when I come to find out that the person whose life was taken also was looking to take somebody else's life, so also you don't see value in life. It just is giving Spider-Man. Just one Spider-Man has a shinier suit than the other. So,
Yeah.
By the way, with that abuse thing, when did that come out? Because the his partner never said anything, did she?
No, but she wouldn't though. If someone, I mean,
So this is like a-
she wouldn't. Me? Oh. Oh.
At this point,
What?
you're finished.
Yo, you remember me? You remember how I think about the dead child? Dead can't do nothing to me, but I think it's part of the sealed criminal past that he has that was revealed.
Okay.
Allegedly. I don't know if that's true or not. Because obviously the media, again, does what they do. Because I think that they sealed all of this. I don't know why they had to reveal it. Like, I honestly don't. I feel like if you sealed it from the jury or whatever, I don't know why it was necessary for the public to know. I think that what they should have done maybe let's say there was riots that broke out and whatever, and people are now trying to burn down the nearest police stations or whatever, then I can see them leaking it. Not the media saying that we did high, but like I can see them leaking some kind of official document. Leaking. But yes, I don't know whether she's ever spoken about it, but you people, some of you respect the dead too much. This is not about Chris. This is just in general. You people give dead liberties, and I don't understand it. But sad all round. Sad scenes.
Yeah, man.
And also, people talk about what do they think his mum was gonna? 'Cause I don't know if he's. Do you know what? Actually, no. Let me never say anything anymore. I'm done. It's fine. All of that being said, though, it is Black History Month still. This is actually. I feel like they could have done the hearing in September or November. They didn't need to do it this month. But anyway,
Strategic.
second.
If you go strategic.
I don't believe any single thing that happens in this life is just by chance or by coincidence. I really don't believe that. New music says, you here to promote new music?
Hold up.
Sorry.
Hold up.
That is you, love. Why you laughing?
Because you said that you're here to promote this music.
Because why go to new music? Then everyone click on your profile. Actually, smart marketing. Love that for you. New music says, I think we need to have a conversation about what creates street guys or roadmen. It isn't always as simple as waking and wanting to be a criminal. Word. Yeah, it's a socio-economic thing. And unfortunately, it's a cycle. Like, it's so much deeper. And it's so much, like, it's a systematic thing. It's a generational thing, unfortunately. Yeah, I agree with you. It's a socio-economic issue that sometimes can lead down that path.
A lot of people seem to believe that all of them just choose it.
And I think that's wild.
That's ridiculous.
And I can understand why they think that, because they're not or have never been in it.
Actually, do you know what? Interesting. Because obviously I didn't grow up in this country. So there's a lot of things about the black British culture that sometimes I don't understand. I just think you are doing too much. But I think like with the way Nigerians are raised and stuff, is, you know, like the way I was raised, we focus on important things. And I just think that when I came to this country, people were focused on very like silly things and I didn't understand it. Like that's why last time Stacey was here, I asked about the youth club thing because I don't understand why you're like a 30 plus man and you're complaining about a youth club you didn't have at the age of 12. Move on and make something of yourself. That's my mindset. But that's why I had to ask him, like, okay, what is the value of this thing? Because I never didn't know. So anyways, coming from the background I came from, when it came to like people like criminal stuff, for the most part I felt like people did choose it. But then I came from a country where there's a lot of poverty and so I can understand that pathway. But then you don't think, obviously when I started studying more and whatever, then I realized that no, there's actually, the grass isn't just greener just because it's the West, just as it's advertised basically. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So then obviously I study sociology as well, and like I have a genuine interest in these things, is when I realize that when it comes to like criminals, like as in like when I say criminal, as in like for lack of a better word, street criminals, is much deeper than someone making that choice to do that thing. So my empathy on that is very, very different. Because remember I said I watched Breaking Bad? My favorite character in there is Jesse. I love Jesse so much and I feel so bad for Jesse, but that's also because I did a whole course at uni about drug addiction and stuff. So people that are like addicted to drugs, I feel so bad for them because it's an illness that people don't recognize as an illness, and people in society just think, oh, you want to have the drugs and you're gagging for it.
All right.
Do
And
you
this my list is why is I want to have a topic of the day where we start breaking this down, because the different
Elements,
themes
yeah.
and elements at play here, right? Because even as you were talking, and even as I said, a lot of people actually think they choose this particular life, right?
Yeah.
I know that in some certain circumstances, a lot of circumstances, they're forced into that particular life.
Yeah.
But there's a other element of it where it's glorified and romanticized.
Absolutely.
Do you understand? And
Yeah.
it is pushed. And then you go to who's pushing it and what is their agenda? Who's pushing it, right? But brother, we need to break this down in different layers,
We do.
and Marx has to be in every single one of them.
For every single layer. You gotta spread them out. Otherwise you're gonna have a
anybody
therapist on
looking
hands.
at how it is that Marx basically talks about his past, like they be like, I want some. I want
Bring
some.
me in. But you know what it is though? But that's what that's part of the problem though, because when you even think about like I know people hate to say it. I know you're shaking the boots already, drill music. It's literally people just snitching on themselves about what they did and what they didn't do.
Yeah.
And there's so much glorification of that kind of stuff that it's just, I don't understand it. Like, but I do believe that I know who set it up. The same people that put what's it, crack.
Yo,
in the communities.
Again, we need to jump into this because there's one thing like knowing that. As another thing, some people also knowing that and still looking to be like, nah, but I'm up.
Because think about it.
This is a nice hustle. Easy money.
Yeah.
Good money. Glorious money. Let me continue.
Stop selling it. You know
After
what
a while,
it is?
it's them that's perpetuating it. And the person who sets it up, he's like, all right, I've done my job.
Do you know how you know it's messed up here? It's when obviously let's use America, just because American culture is one that feeds into the whole world, right? Is when these politicians get in the position they get into, and then talk about, we're criminals need to clamp down, we need to da-da-da-da-da. But as soon as it's election season, the same gangs, the same Young Thug, the same all them Lils and all the Durs and all the da-da-da-da-da that they cuss on a regular, all of a sudden they want their endorsement because they know they know the audience that these people have. So then now you want Future to stand next to you and say that, oh, yes, I am for Kamala. Yes, I am for Trump. Yes, I am for these people. Just so you can use them to reach the audience. But then as soon as you get in office, though, what you're going to then do is create laws that gets people that speak about these subjects or whatever, puts them away. It's an absolute joke.
And they're the biggest criminals.
Who? The politicians and stuff?
Them same politicians.
No, but that's why I always say that when it comes to like certain crimes, like that, when we talk about the people that were being released and whatnot.
Yeah.
I say if it's fraud, sorry, but fraud is sad, it's bad, it is. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't want to be a victim. I've had accounts from people who have been victims of fraud. It's not a good thing. But sometimes some things I'm just like, I don't want to hear a speech from this white man that's got this $1 million business that's number 1 on the Forbes list. Because, sir, you wouldn't have gotten all your money in moral and legal and ethical ways. Do you get me? Just so it's bad, yes it is, and I think the speech should come from somebody else, but not from you. Because you look at when COVID happened and all them furlough schemes.
All the contracts that people got.
All the contracts.
Didn't have
and then when it was time to pay
experience
back.
in P&P.
Okay, when it was time to pay back, who were they asking for? All the small businesses. What about the big corporations that can actually afford to pay back? Where was their notices? Do you get me? So this world just stinks in general. Hypocrites.
Let me just fill this up.
Live with gaff.
Let me fill this up. Where have you gone? Tap. There we go.
Well, suspense.
Oh, sorry.
We don't know what you're talking about. Oh yeah, rebranded. So it says, don't you people that aren't involved in that lifestyle ever get tired of trying to dissect that lifestyle? This is what I'm talking about. This is part of the problem.
I don't understand this.
No, let me read it. Don't you people that aren't involved in that lifestyle ever get tired of trying to dissect that lifestyle and the choices people in it make? Like, what's the end goal each time this debate rears its head? The end goal is in the hopes of reducing such lifestyle. Because clearly the conversation is not going to come from you, rebranded ghost. I didn't know we had Ghost and Patrick in our midst. And this is part of the problem. You don't think it's so cool to be like, you guys don't understand the lifestyle. You don't get the lifestyle. You're not in the like. There's some kind of I can't explain it, but there's some kind of like arrogance and we're in the know of this lifestyle and you guys don't know. But the solution to this said lifestyle is never going to come from you because you've accepted and you don't see it as a problem. That's the reality of it. If you're going to sit there and not understand why conversations need to be had about these things, not understand that they're literally young boys who are being groomed and young girls who are being groomed to go and to sell drugs, to be drug mules and all these things, and the killings that happens regularly. If you don't understand why these conversations need to happen, you're part of the problem. And that is part of the glorifying that we're talking about. You don't have to say, you get all this money, you can get all these gold. That's not what that's not the only way this lifestyle can be glorified. Every time we have these conversations, even when it's someone like Sace in here, someone has actually built a whole what is it, 13 years of doing this? Even when it's someone like that who actually boots on ground doing something about it, there's criticism there of you guys don't know, you were never really there. Okay, so what's the end goal? Because you who were there, what are you doing about that then? You don't see a problem with it. That is part of the problem. Talking about what is the end goal here. The end goal here is to get rid of mindsets like that, like yours. That's the flipping end goal. What are we doing here? Don't be silly, man. It's all fun. It's all fun and games for us to be retweeting and doing GoFundMe every other week for a poor mum and a poor parent that's lost their child. How do we prevent that? How do we prevent these sad things from happening all the time? This is why I feel like as well people are desensitized to stabbing. They're desensitized to all these crazy things happen. Sorry, I just spit everywhere. All these crazy things happen.
You want to leave this.
No. We're desensitized to all these things because it happens so frequently that it's not clicking that they're actually little kids being murdered and being killed. And the family have to deal with that. And if they've got siblings, the family cannot afford to move out of this area. So chances are then another parent has got to go and watch what their child end up in the same cycle. And it's not as if the parents aren't working. It's not that sometimes the father's not in the home. It's not as if, do you know what I mean? Like, they're doing all that they can, but unfortunately, the circumstances of their social status, the circumstances of the class that they're in society, these things sometimes is difficult. You sit there every time you start talking about free this person, free that person, free that person. He's a crazy person. The way people say, "Oh, free this person," you will think that he just stole milk from the shop. Like one of the guys that's been trending that got released the other day, kidnapped somebody, kidnapping, tried to pour boiling hot water on the kid, kidnapped a child.
Was it 12 and a half years he was supposed to be in jail for?
I said it was 23. Because in the article it's something about like the crimes carry like 23 or something. Maybe he got 12 and a half or whatever it was. Came out all Gucci'd up talking about asking for a tutorial how to use TikTok. This is the priorities. This is why I say that. I think me not being raised here, like my tolerance, like I will show empathy because again I've come to understand, I've come to learn and study that these things are much deeper than you made the wrong choice. And, it's just like, it's a deeper thing. It's a deeper thing that needs to be looked into by the powers that be, by the government. Like, it's a deeper thing that is all hands on deck. This is the problem. However, though, I don't have empathy and I don't care. And I don't have the time to entertain conversations such as that kind of comment. Because that's foolishness to me. Like, you will never be able to justify that. Okay, I haven't been in the lifestyle. I shouldn't talk about it. Fair. You that's in the lifestyle, the only conversation you ever have about it is saying people that aren't in the lifestyle don't know what it's like. So beyond that, where do we go from there? What is your solution to sorting this out? Apart from, it's deep, man. It's just so much going on. Okay, where do we go from here? Because the people that we end, sorry, it's really irritated me. Because even like when Kay came here, like people that who are mentors for these young boys, they literally get criticized. I see the chat when it is that these people come in here and they're talking about these things, but like, it's just you're sitting there with your privilege, you don't understand it. Okay then, you who apparently doesn't have any privilege and apparently is so educated on this subject area, what are you doing then? What are you doing then? Because even when you then have people that were on road and they've changed their lives now, who are then trying to help, they're not even getting the respect that's due to them.
Beautiful. So the thing is, there's this community, right?
Yeah.
And if this community had two complete, separate, distinct divides, and on this part of the community, one type of people, one type of lifestyle stayed there.
Yeah.
And it didn't basically come over and affect this particular type of community. I mean, 100%. If you're doing what you're doing, nobody's being handled over here.
It's in your circle.
We're
That's
doing
fine.
it. But it affects.
It bleeds into it.
All of the people that SACE represents, K represents, some of them are not even in that lifestyle, but they're affected by that lifestyle. Because it's glorified, because it's romanticized. These people who are in this lifestyle, this looks nice over here. Let me go over there. And the parents who are not interested in that lifestyle don't want their children to be going over there. And now, there you go, another victim. Another person who's lost this particular boy, this particular girl, this particular nephew, this particular niece to that particular lifestyle.
It's mad.
Do you understand? So if it wasn't affecting the ones who want to just mind their business and just, cool, but it's affecting them. It's affecting them.
I'll never forget this documentary I watched years ago. I think it was on BBC, and there was this mum. I can't remember. I can't remember her name, but I literally right now can see her in my head, and just the heartbreak of the fact that her son got killed. Like, it was so sad. Like, when I tell you, she said she did every single thing. She moved out of the area. She changed his schools. She made sure, like, she picked him up from school, like, she did absolutely every single thing in her power, and her son was still groomed. And because he had this fear of the people that were grooming and whatever, he just, unfortunately, now for the rest of her life, she has to mourn her baby. He was like 13 or 12 or something like that. It's sad. It's very, very sad. But conversations need to be had. Like you said, it's bleeding into... honestly, if it was a thing where it was just over there, there's over there's problem. What's my own? I don't like seeing black people in general suffer. Whether I can relate to the suffering or not, I don't like it. So my heart can't take it. So maybe I will be getting involved and use up time to mind my business, and that's fair. However, though, it is bleeding into people who are not involved. And it's sad. It's sad. And until that is acknowledged, there's not going to be any change. If it continues to be glorified in whatever ways it's glorified, there's not going to be any change.
And then that mindset that a lot of the successful people who are in that lifestyle and they get money and they're able to basically have wealth. And sometimes they have houses outside of the environment in which it is that has raised them.
Yeah.
But they will still be involved in it.
Yeah.
Mad. To
It's
me,
crazy.
That is mad. That's
crazy.
Me. That's to me.
But
And
that's you,
that's why I
exactly,
said
yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
So when it is that we chop it up, Marks could tell us.
Absolutely.
Marks could tell us.
We get somebody else
and
that-
Greek could call in and also chime in.
Greek-
I
no, Greek-
really want to know.
I don't want Greek to call in.
I
No,
want-
let me
I
finish my
want to
sentence. No, let
know.
me finish my sentence. I don't want Greek to call in. I want Greek to come and sit on this couch.
All right, put his-
live
put his
vote.
face
Don't
to
be,
it.
don't know. It's easy to chat, yap in the comments and be doing Twitter fingers and YouTube fingers. I don't want, if we're gonna have this conversation, I want people who are in the know, because apparently the rest of us aren't. I want you to actually come on the couch and sit here and actually speak about it. Since you're so passionate about the way people don't know these things, bring your passion over here. I'm not being cheeky. I just mean, if we're gonna have the conversation, then come and have the conversation that you clearly want to have then.
You know what the thing is, yeah.
I will sit out if you guys want. I'll be on Discord if you want.
Everything you guys said is valid, yeah. But I think Greek is basically saying, he's talking about from the perspective of not being in the know. He's basically saying, I'm not in the know. Most of the people are not in the know. Why do we care to be in the know? Why do we care about the lives of that minority that engage in criminality?
I care about black people.
Essentially.
I care about, I don't have to. There's so many things that I care about that I have personally haven't been through, but that doesn't mean I can't care about it. I care about it when it's somebody who it was their cousin that was killed. I care about, and in some way people know someone, like whether it's a friend of a friend or whatever the case might be, where you know what, like, do you know what I mean? I care when I see someone that looks like me having to go through that. I care even when it's a black person that's done wrong, but I see the police mistreating them. I care about stuff like that. We have to care. We can't live in a world where I can't live in a world where I only care about myself and the matters I do with myself. I'm not wired to function that way. I'm not wired to live that way. So that's why we have to care. So Greek is not in the know.
No. He's basically saying, why is it that those who are not in the know want to, you know what I mean, understand?
Someone's got to do the work though.
Yeah.
Because the people that are in the know, not many of them think it's a problem like that. They just think, well, it's what we have to do, and and it's like they've compartmentalized it and just they've made the peace with that. It's the way they have to go, and so that's it. Somebody's got to do the thinking, because again, it affects the whole community. Whether you're somebody there's been a whole joke online about people that work in Canary Wharf thinking that they're different kind of blacks. But that's the thing though. In these spaces, you're just black. Evil Killy says, you lot get your shit off. Well, you could be getting yours off too if you were in here. Marks. So why you not get your shit off?
The thing is,
Come in here. Like, what are you talking about?
the thing is,
You actually have access to the couch.
I am so sorry. I purposefully went there because he sent a message but it's saying he
No,
Can you imagine?
basically, how long said Brent set you up?
It triggered me.
So you want to talk about roadmen? Are you
Can
okay?
you imagine?
Oh my gosh. Last night I was so vexed on his behalf because Lin May quote-tweeted
Oh, what she
the
did?
video and started cussing him.
Of course.
I was vexed on his behalf, right? And I was going to tell him, hey, go and roast that.
Roast that girl.
Raccoon. But now when it is, he sent the message saying, hey, come and hit. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, so
I could kind of show some.
Mark, I thought you were on your way.
That's what I was thinking.
I even said, when I started, I said the two guys are on their way. Well, okay, fair then. I will get my shit off then in that case.
Oh my gosh. And see you tomorrow, Greek. Looking forward to seeing you
Oh,
tomorrow.
is it really coming tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Was he meant to come tomorrow? Is that?
Well, he might not know.
Oh, you mean the event? I thought you meant on TDA.
No.
That'd be nice to see. I've never actually met Greek in person. I've
Oh,
only heard.
serious?
I've only heard tales about Greek.
All right.
I've heard it smells nice, so no pressure.
Yeah.
If I don't smell you from when I'm 10 feet away from you,
But he looks like he's from money.
okay,
Yeah.
probably is.
I don't know what that means to you, but when you see him,
He smells like money.
yeah, he looks like he has money too. But I don't know yet because obviously he hasn't invested in TMB just yet. He's talking about solutions and why we bothering.
maybe that's why. Maybe he doesn't believe in what TMB is doing and it's got nothing to do with him. Because I can't even. I'm shocked by that mindset of. Because I honestly thought he was in the know. So I felt like he was saying like, "Oh, you guys, how you gonna hate from outside the club? You can't even get in," kind of vibe. So maybe that's the same energy with TMB. People that don't see why we should have to, rewrite media are like, well, to enjoy the content.
Yeah, Mags, Lin May, she cussed you.
Don't let him go and look now. I like that. I like what Mags. To be fair, I did that with the clips as well because I didn't know that you had posted it on Twitter yet.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know you had posted it anyway, to be fair. And then when I went on Twitter, I saw it. Then I saw like 50 something, and I just muted it. I just muted it. I just said, straight mute. But I do that anyway with the clips moving forward now. Ever since one time me and Gina got cussed, and I just wanted to find people. So I think what I'm going to use my TMB shares to do is to hire a private investigator, because I want to see you in real life. Caps lock me when you speak to me. I want to see you caps lock your voice. But I just mute the clips.
No, I don't think you should use your shares to that. I think you should basically like find somebody who likes like foot pictures.
That's what?
Find a private investigator who likes foot pictures and then send
Foot?
them pictures. Yeah.
Feet pictures.
Yeah.
What?
So in my head, you said you were going to basically sell some shares and pay them to basically do your work for you, right?
No, well, yeah. Well,
I'm saying, look, keep the shares.
Yeah.
Find one, a CD one that's interested. The value, the current.
Oh, I just send him a picture of my feet.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, that's someone I can't trust.
Yeah, don't give them shares.
To be fair, one of my friends is a PI though, to be fair.
Oh,
I
serious?
just gotta say the word, yeah.
Question. Obviously, in movies,
Yeah.
they look legit.
Yeah.
Like they know what they're doing proper.
Yeah.
Is that what your friends on?
Yeah. Trying to find some people. People can be found. Anyway.
Oh, man.
Yes.
Luckily, I read my Bible every morning, so, chances of this happening is, I'm prayed up. Anyway, all of this being said, it is Black History Month. And thankfully, Iman is in the know of some people, so he can let us know. Please.
All right, people, happy Black History Month. Of course, as you guys know, we are bigging up the unsung heroes, people you may have forgotten about or just don't know or do know, fully familiar with, but we still need to, just hail them up a bit. Today, the black man that we want to big up is a great man by the name of Steve Biko. And he was born December 18th, 1946 in Kings Williamstown, South Africa. He was a prominent anti-apartheid activist and the founder of the BCM, which is the Black Consciousness Movement. His work centered on empowering Black South Africans to take pride in their identity and resist the psychological oppression imposed by the apartheid regime. Biko believed that liberation could not be achieved solely through political and economic means. It required a mental and cultural revolution where Black people rejected the inferiority complex instilled by white supremacy. His ideas resonated widely, particularly amongst students and young activists, positioning him as a key figure in the struggle against apartheid in the 1970s. In 1969, Steve Biko co-founded the South African Students' Organization, which sought to mobilize Black university students to lead the fight against apartheid. Through this organization and the Black Consciousness Movement, he inspired a new generation to demand their rights, emphasizing the importance of self-determination, pride, and unity. Biko's writings and speeches, though banned in South Africa, spread through underground networks, galvanizing the anti-apartheid movement and helping to shift the political landscape. He also worked on community health and educational projects aimed at improving conditions for Black South Africans, particularly in impoverished townships. Steve Biko's activism made him a target of the apartheid government, of course. In August 1977, he was arrested, he was interrogated, and brutally tortured by South African security forces. He died from his injuries on September 12th, 1977, becoming a martyr for the anti-apartheid cause. His death sparked international outrage and intensified global pressure on the South African regime Today, Steve Biko is remembered not only for his intellectual contributions, but for his courage and leadership in the fight for racial justice in South Africa. His legacy lives on as a symbol of resistance and the enduring struggle for equality and human dignity. What's the name of that film? Is it called Cry Freedom? Featuring Denzel. Basically, it's about Steve Biko.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's good.
Sounds about Denzel.
Why is Steve Biko important? Besides the stuff I mentioned, right? He's important because he was a central figure in the fight against apartheid in South Africa, particularly through his leadership of the Black consciousness movement. His philosophy of Black consciousness emphasized the psychological liberation of Black people from the inferiority complex that was imposed by white supremacy. He believed that mental emancipation was essential before any political or physical liberation could occur. Steve Biko empowered Black South Africans to take pride in their identity, in their culture and history, igniting a sense of self-worth and resistance that helped shape the anti-apartheid struggle. His ideas and activism laid the foundation for future resistance movements and contributed significantly to the eventual downfall of the apartheid regime. Biko's untimely death at the hands of the apartheid government made him a martyr and further galvanized the global fight against South African racial oppression. Big up Steve Biko.
Big up him.
Here's a few quotes that he said. Right? He said, the most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
He said, he said, it's better to die for an idea that will live than to live for an idea that will die.
Hear that, Greek?
And he said, being Black, listen guys, being Black is not a matter of pigmentation. Being Black is a reflection of a mental attitude. Right?
But that's dangerous though. Nah, if Rachel Dolezal had a mental attitude, that white woman had a mental attitude.
No, but he's saying you got to have the color first. And then he said, in time, we shall be in a position to bestow on South Africa the greatest possible gift, a more human face. And the last quote that I'm going to say is something that I say all the time, to be fair. He says, Black... No, he said, he said, Black man, you are on your own.
Boy.
Guys, you ain't got no allies, no matter what they tell you, right? Black man, you're on your own. Or at least live like you're on your own, because then you won't be disappointed when they do what they do. All right, so big up the legendary Steve Biko. The amazing woman that we want to bring up today, Black woman, is somebody by the name of Angela Davis. So she was born January 26, 1944 in Birmingham, Alabama. And she's a prominent political activist, scholar, and author known for her lifelong commitment to social justice, prison abolition, and Black liberation. She was raised in a racially segregated South, and Davis grew up witnessing the violence and the injustice of Jim Crow laws, which fueled her activism. She became politically involved during her studies in philosophy, aligning with the communist and Black liberation movements, and later became a member of the Black Panther Party. And an associate of the Shea Lumumba Club and an all-Black branch of the Communist Party. Her advocacy for revolutionary change, coupled with academic work, made her one of the most prominent figures of the 1960s and 1970s. Angela Davis gained national and international attention in 1970 when she was implicated in an attempted prison escape that resulted in the death of a judge. Fleeing arrest, she became one of the FBI's top 10 most wanted, leading to a highly publicized trial that drew widespread support for her release, including campaigns under the banner Free Angela. Sometimes you got to free them and it's legit. Right?
Word.
She was acquitted of all charges in 1972, and the trial became a symbol of the broader fight against systemic racism and political repression in the United States. Davis used her platform to highlight issues of mass incarceration and the disproportionate imprisonment of Black Americans, which will later become central to her lifelong work. Beyond her activism, Angela Davis has had a distinguished academic career, authoring numerous books on topics ranging from race and feminism to prison abolition. Her notable books include Women, Race and Class, and also Are Prisons Obsolete?, in which she explores the intersections of race, gender, and the class in context of systemic oppression. Angela Davis continues to advocate for social justice, for prison reform, and the dismantling of oppressive structures, inspiring movements worldwide. Her tireless work as both an intellectual and an activist has left an indelible mark on the global struggle for justice and equality. Why is she important? She's important because, as mentioned, she's been a transformative figure in the struggle for civil rights, prison abolition, and social justice for over 5 decades. She's been putting in this work. 5 decades. Her activism, scholarship, and advocacy have shaped critical discussions on race, gender, class, and the US prison system. As a black feminist, Angela Davis has highlighted how these forms of oppression intersect and has been a leading voice in movements to dismantle systemic inequality. Her personal experiences, including being a political prisoner, have made her a powerful symbol of resistance against state repression. Davis's continued focus on prison abolition and her critique of the prison industrial complex have helped to reframe debates on mass incarceration, particularly in how it disproportionately affects communities of color. Here's a few things that she said that hopefully resonate with you guys. I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept.
Okay,
Let me say that again.
Sounds like a bit of me.
I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept.
Okay, girl.
She also said, in a racist society, it's not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist.
You know, people that don't see colour.
There you go. In a racist society, it's not enough to be non-racist. We must be anti-racist. And she said, freedom is a constant struggle. She also said the prison industrial complex is not only a reflection of racist structures in our society, but it's also a way of perpetuating racism. And the last thing she said, well, she said many things, but the last quote I'm going to read is, revolution is a serious thing. The most serious thing about a revolutionary's life. When one commits oneself to the struggle, it must be for a lifetime. Big up the legendary Angela Davis and Steve Biko.
Big them up. Thank you very much. Let's get into headlines.
All right, people. So our first set of headlines. Sir Keir Starmer has said that he wants to focus on the future of the Commonwealth after ruling out compensation for the UK's historical role in the slave trade. You hear that, guys? Cool. All 3 candidates to become the next head of the 56-nation organisation have called for reparations for countries that were affected by slavery. A group of Caribbean nations has indicated that it will push for the issue to be discussed at a summit of the bloc's leaders in Samoa this week. But the UK Prime Minister said he wanted to address current future-facing challenges rather than spend a lot of time on the past. Sir Keir Starmer's government has ruled out making slavery reparations, continuing a long-standing British stance on the subject. Downing Street has also said that Sir Keir Starmer will not be apologising for Britain's role in the transatlantic slave trade, and reparations will not be on the summit agenda. Do people care about this, though? Do people care? Because remember the other day, some of us were not us. Some people were bigging up Keir Starmer, innit?
Boy.
Now Keir Starmer's saying, guys, I might have freed some of your boys, but reparations
Is
for
that
your
the
people
question?
is out of the question. Don't talk to me about slave trade.
I don't understand what you're doing.
I think reparations going to be on the table. I think when he saw them people coming out and being picked up with G-Wagons and stuff, so y'all don't need it.
Yes.
What you're saying, he said, have that. That's your reparations.
Well,
Hey.
I'll give you them back.
he said you don't need money because clearly you got it because you're picking up these people in Rolls Royces.
I said, hold that.
Hold that.
Yeah.
I understand, Emmanuel.
Yes.
Even in this whole jail release thing,
Yeah.
would the same thing have happened if the Conservatives were in power? Like, was it just a result of jails were just too packed? It was just overheaving.
Yeah, because we had reported on that same thing during the Tories' tenure as well. So I'm not saying that they would have released people, but they were making it clear that something needs to happen because the prisons are packed.
So he was just fixing stuff.
I mean, if you call it fixing.
Caught with a cookie in his hand, the cookie jar in his hand.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what you call it. I don't know his motivation behind it. I don't necessarily think it was like a a thing that he was doing for the black community. I'm not saying that
I'm not talking about the black
that
community. I'm
anyway.
talking about because I don't think it's black people.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
released.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But yeah, I don't know. I think he was just doing what I guess. You know what? The Tories might have done this as well.
And the same with the reparations thing, right? I don't see any government from the UK
Doing that.
that, right? So it's interesting that he's decided to come out to say that, but I'm guessing it's because he was pressed on it, right?
Yeah, he was asked.
Oh, it's
But
interesting.
I'm just highlighting that, you know, sometimes we think some parties are better than the other parties. And I think, obviously, this is not my own, I'm not trying to necessarily push anything here, but I just like to reinforce to people the idea that stop thinking one is better than the other. They just attack you and hate you in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I've always been saying, just focus on the policies. Whatever policies that any group, any party can implement that will benefit you, your family, and your community is the one you should go for. Focus on the local level as well. You know what I'm saying? Stop thinking that red is better and blue is the worst thing since bloody Hitler. Stop thinking those things. It's childish. You know what I'm saying? We need to focus on things that's going to affect us now and going forward with whatever plan as a community that we basically have. You know what I'm saying? Because every now and again, they'll remind you. He's basically saying, look, just like everybody else, just like the Tories who were here before, I'm not interested in the discussion about reparations. I'm not interested in apologizing for the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Next headline, and this is somewhat linked to our topic of the day, yeah? Police officers who shoot suspects will be anonymous during criminal trials. This is what the Home Secretary has announced in the wake of the Chris Kaba case. Yvette Cooper told the House of Commons there will be a presumption of anonymity for firearms officers subject to criminal trial up to the point of conviction. When officers act in the most dangerous situations on behalf of the state, it's vital that those officers and their families are not put in further danger during any subsequent legal proceedings. This is what she told MPs. The announcement from the Home Secretary came after Sergeant Martin Blake was cleared of murder this week following the death of Chris Kaba in Lambeth in 2022. Blake's anonymity was lifted before the trial began, raising concerns about his safety. Cooper said it was crucial that Sergeant Blake and his family are given the time and the space that they will need to recover from what will have been an immensely difficult experience for them. Cooper also said for an armed police officer to be prosecuted for actions taken in the course of their duties is very rare. So, of course, this case has raised considerable concerns for the public and the police. We're going to get into some of the changes because she's now putting in place some new things now, right? Off of the back of this. So I want you guys everyone to be aware of this, right? And our last headline, Prime Minister Keir Starmer is insisting that his relationship with Donald Trump won't be derailed by a row over Labour Party activists flying to the US to campaign for his rival Kamala Harris. The Trump campaign is accusing the Labour Party of electoral interference, sat in the trip organised by Labour staff for around 100 volunteers to help Democrats in key states. So the former president's team has announced it has now filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission against Labour, calling it a far-left party engaging in illegal foreign campaign contributions. Talking to those of us travelling with him to the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in Samoa, Keir Starmer insisted that it wouldn't jeopardise his relationship with the Republican candidate. He went on to say, I spent time in New York with President Trump, had dinner with him, and my purpose in doing that was to make sure that between the two of us, we established a good relationship, which we did. The Prime Minister went on to stress that activists are volunteers engaging in a long-standing practice, adding that that's what they've done in previous elections, that's what they're doing in this election, and it's pretty much straightforward. So don't look into it, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the headlines.
Nice. Let's get into what you're saying.
All right, before we move into what we're saying,
Yes.
just
What are you saying?
Reminder, this is it. Our professor, Darryl Blake, is up for an award, Role Model of the Year.
is.
And he's been nominated, and I need for everybody to go and vote for him. I'm going to put the link in the chat. Please vote for him. I'm going to be making this announcement 2 more times. All right, let's get into
Thank you.
what we're saying.
All right, people. So today's topic of the day, as mentioned, is about some new government reform that's been put in place. And that was announced yesterday by Yvette Cooper, who's the Home Secretary. So we're going to go into it. And basically, I want to know if what you guys basically think about this, right? So long story short, this is some of the main things, right? She said that police officers remain anonymous. So remember, obviously, we knew Martin Blake's name. We knew his age and all that sort of stuff. We just didn't know what he looked like.
Yeah.
But now that's going to be overturned. From now on, unless there's a conviction, that police officer will remain anonymous. Cool. Also, they're raising the bar that's needed for police to be referred to the CPS.
Of course they are.
All right. So obviously you got some people saying, why are we campaigning because of, he was a gang member, things of that nature. And obviously you and Mark pretty much said yesterday, because it sets precedents. And one day later...
The president set. Set.
So the level is now, just for context and to be fair to them, the level is now the same as normal members of public, right?
Okay.
Cool. But obviously, you would expect that police would be held to a higher standard, right? They're there to protect, to serve. Hence it being...
I would think that the bar should even be lower than civilians.
Exactly.
Because because you're in a power position. So you need to make sure you don't abuse that.
There you go. But now that's been changed.
Yeah,
right?
so you can get away with it.
And now, an appeal mechanism has now been introduced for bereaved families if an officer isn't charged. So obviously, if the threshold is set higher, and now, let's just say, using the Chris Kaba case, it didn't go to trial, at least it gives the opportunity for bereaved families to say, you know what, wait a minute, we don't agree with the CPS's decision here, we want to appeal. So that's been put in place too.
Okay.
Right? And one of the other things is officers are going to be fired if found to have committed gross misconduct.
That wasn't in place before.
This is why yesterday we were talking about what might be the case and not what will be the case. Exactly. So that's basically some of the four main points.
I think that in there is funny as heck. Because what was happening to them when they were found of gross misconduct?
I don't know if they were.
Naughty. And then you just carry on going back to work.
It might not have been gross misconduct. I want to tell you a story quickly, about a guy called... Is it Tony Long? I think his name's Tony Long.
It's your story. How are you asking me?
Sorry. So he's a former armed police officer.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm mentioning him is because I'm noticing that I've seen him in like 3 different platforms in a matter of 24 hours.
As in like doing interviews or comments?
ITV, Telegraph, LBC, I think. He's around. And basically... he obviously is one of those who are trying to defend his people.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? He's retired now.
I would say he's jobless. Makes sense why he's on it. It might be on TD and X. Yeah.
But he feels like it's a bit of an insult that the public will feel like, wait a minute, the people that are trained, these are my words, by the way. I want to be
but that's
fair
how they
to
moved it. Like it is insulting. That's why they all threaten to put their guns down.
Exactly. Exactly. So he's saying, look, the police should be given the benefit of the doubt in these situations.
Sorry?
Yeah, 100%. It's not only him that's saying that as well. It's a lot of them. Yeah. Given the benefit of the doubt because these people are trained to do particular things, right? Brent, yesterday you asked a question about, does it matter if somebody's past has been divulged, right?
Yeah.
If Martin Blake was involved in a situation prior, would you want the jury to know?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Even though it's going to have to do with the case with Chris Kaba.
Yeah. Bear in mind, I was posing the question yesterday.
Of course.
Yeah, nobody asked me what I felt.
All right,
Did we not?
No, he didn't.
He didn't.
I would be the devil.
Can you imagine? I told you that the devil don't need no help. We'll carry on.
But yeah, okay, cool. So that's your position.
I asked you to steel man it, but you weren't doing it. So I was like, all right, cool, let me do it instead.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just had to do all of that, didn't you?
So, all right, cool. We know your position, right? The reason why I'm mentioning that is because, and again, I'm not trying to do anything for Tony Long.
Not.
This is his life. I've not read into the cases. I've just listened to what he said.
And bear in mind, he has heightened responsibility over a civilian. No, police officer.
Police officer.
That's why I'm saying definitely the jury should know.
Yeah, okay.
This one.
Cool. Now, the reason why I mention this is because Tony Long was involved in 3 separate incidents.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of what?
Shootings. He's an armed officer, right? In his time. So the first one, I believe, was 1985. He shot somebody, he said purposely in the head. Now...
What?
No, wait. Again, this is part of what Brent was saying yesterday. If you heard a crime, you may not care, right? So the guy was, I think he said was stabbing, trigger warning, a young girl. And when the police came, he tried to use the girl as a human shield So the only space he had was a headshot. So,
Well, fair.
you know what I'm saying? See,
If I know the details.
exactly. So he shot him in the head. The man survived. Yes, I don't know how this guy did it.
The guy that shot the head.
Yes, this guy is white Tupac or something. I don't know what he
scary.
is. Huh?
That's scary. That's a scary person. You gotta be scared of that guy.
The guys, can you imagine? Anyway, so that's just context, right? For the first incident, that was 1985. So in 1986, I believe.
Morning. I'm blessing yourself. Lovely. You can sit here.
Sorry, go on. You go on.
Morning.
Morning, babes.
Morning. What you got? In 1987,
Yeah.
the second case was he basically was involved in stopping a robbery, street robbery.
Okay.
So I think there were 3 people involved. He shot 2 of them. No, I think he shot all 3 of them, in fact, but 2 of them died.
This guy, he's a menace.
He's active. He's active. Then, 100 days before he was meant to retire in 2005.
He for one for the road.
Now, this is the situation that is basically most similar to Chris Kaba's case. This is a black guy by the name of Azel. Oh, I keep forgetting his Azel Rodney. And so he basically the story is they had intelligence. They were following these gang members or whatever it may be. This is according to what Tony Long is saying. That these men are part of an organized crime group, right? And they were apparently going, according to their intel, apparently going to rob some Colombian drug dealers, right? So they had Mac 10s and everything, like 2 Mac 10s, right? Submachine gun people.
I know what
So-
Mac 10 is, child.
Right.
Only Mac 10 is Apple.
And so this was the intel, right? So obviously they've come there strapped and everything, ready to take these guys
go.
out just in case.
Yeah.
Long story short, they get into the shooting, and when I say they, it's not only
only
Mr.
Tony.
Tony Long, right? And he shoots Azel 8 times. 8 times.
Is that because he's got a machine gun?
So,
Because you know machine gun, they be going off.
well, the intel says that they were likely to have 2 Mac 10s. There was no machine gun found in the car.
How
right?
quick does a Mac 10 go?
It's an automatic,
Oh,
semi-automatic.
those kind of ones.
Yeah.
So did Tony have that as well?
No, he had his own thing.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what the armed police had, but that's what he had, right, basically. So again, this is what the intel is saying. So it might not be fair to to write him off so quickly, but the reality is that's what the situation was, right? So yeah, that's what the situation was.
Brent.
A bit more detail for that situation, right? So when obviously, like I said, he was shot 8 times. There was a weapon in the car,
Yeah.
but I guess the argument against why Tony Long was wrong was that yes, there was a weapon in the car, but he wasn't holding the weapon. He didn't know, like it's not like he was posing.
Like
a
he wasn't.
threat to
Yeah,
you.
it wasn't a threat. So why did
Yeah.
you shoot him eight times? Is so intentional.
Exactly. So what he's saying is, I didn't know he had if he had a gun in his hand or not. So I had to basically do something about the situation.
8 times. You can do one
Yeah.
thing.
Because he's sitting in the car. So obviously he's saying, how can I tell? The way he's sitting, I had to take a leap. These are his words. I had to take a leap of faith, right? And basically act. Long story short, yeah, he got acquitted anyway. So there's no point in me.
Oh wow,
going-
no way. He did.
He got acquitted. Yeah, so no murder charge. Remember, again, for context as well, no armed police officer has been charged with murder and actually
Yeah.
been found guilty.
And there's
None.
been many cases where they have been.
So
Should
and
be
that
happy.
was one of them, right? So anyway, I say all of that just to say, this is his history, right? Some of them, of course, you might feel like is warranted. Well, you might feel all of them are warranted and that he's okay. But I just wanted to provide the context. So he's one of those people again who's on different platforms talking about the police need to be protected, right? And so I'm basically saying, given what happened with Martin Blake, given now that the media has pushed all this information about Chris Kaba. Is this obviously something that's planned out? Did we know the government's going to do this? Like, is there a point to marching? Is maybe us marching the reason why they're doing this? Is what is going through your mind when you're hearing all this?
I think that. I believe anyway that information is always was always drip fed to the public, but I believe that they've always known that this was what they were going to do. I think from the moment that the Chris Kaba situation happened, and there was questions being asked, I believe that they were like, okay, how do we do this? But beyond this as well, how do we make sure we never have to deal with this nonsense again? which would be why, obviously, with the charge as well, they went for the charge. I feel like they've just been very intentional about what they were doing. I'm not shocked about this, like these changes they're trying to make and these things, these new guides and whatever else that they're trying to implement. They know exactly what they're doing. I feel like they've been knowing what they're doing. I don't want to say marching is fruitless because I do believe it gets conversations going on, and change can come about protests and stuff like that. It absolutely, like, we can put pressure again where it hurts.
Yeah.
Beyond protest, like protesting isn't just about walking on the streets. There's other things that we can do as well that puts pressure. You can write to your MPs. You can stop spending certain, like, all this stuff is forms of protest. So I wouldn't say that it's there's no point in it, but I think that sometimes it's hard to see the point in it.
Does it feel like we are losing in this battle then? Because right now, if a situation like this where obviously you've got people on both sides, but then again, you release information and the media, they're having a field day right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anyone that I've heard in the media anyway is defending Chris Kaba's right to just a trial. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now, on top of that, you're getting the police federation saying this should never been taken to court in the first place. You're now saying they're going to change the threshold now. And yeah, so it's like, what does the future hold? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but you know what it is though? Like, this country is, like, it's just racist. Do you get what I mean? And again, the racism isn't like, get lynched or whatever. It's institutional racism.
Yeah.
It's present in education. It's present in healthcare. It's present in the police. So it's just, unfortunately, I don't have much hope of the system changing to a place where, as Black people, we can sit down and actually put our feet up and be like, you know what? Finally, it's for us. I feel like we're always going to get bits, maybe over time, but I don't know how many generations that's going to take. Jesus might come back before. But we're always going to get given bits. We're always going to be drip-fed little things. We're always going to, do you know what I mean? It's always going to, and I think also as well, sometimes with these institutions, they love to appear to be doing something. Yeah. So they will entertain these conversations. Yes, you want to come to the House and Commons and talk about that? Come on. But then is anything going to come from that? Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So I don't see a society where we're ever going to sit down and be like, you know what, oh my gosh, finally Britain is not racist anymore. Because when you think about the institution like the police, that's been how long is a thread? Yeah. And is deep rooted. Do you get what I mean? Like, they've come from a time where it was okay to have slaves and all that. Like, do you get what I mean? Like, is deep and deep and deep. Like, to the point where even Black officers who work for the police talk about how they're bullied, how they're attacked, how they're this, how they're that, within this institution where you would think that they're all one and the same. So even when we're meant to all be one and the same, we're not one and the same because they make that distinction. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I just don't know that it's ever going to be a case where we can like, Black people will actually be able to, will sit down and look back and be like, do you know what, actually, we've done a great job. All our protests, everything is worked out now, and we can put our feet up because, Britain is no longer racist. So, but it's not a thing. I don't think that because of that we shouldn't protest and we shouldn't call out things that we know is wrong. And I don't think that we shouldn't do that because, again, I do believe that there are little bits of change. We are drip-fed change. Yeah. Like, we are drip-fed things. They're not going to give all of it at once. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? However, though, I'm not shocked that this is what it was. And this was a conversation we're having where it's a thing where, regardless of whether you think that he's a criminal or not, regardless of whether you think he did something bad or not, foresight, it's about the bigger picture. It's about what President is set. When this man is not going to be convicted for this thing, and now, like, what does that mean for the other cases then? And then to hear that there's so many cases anyway, from beginning of time, and the police has never once. But even now, now what they're saying is, do you know what? We're actually sick of going to trial. So now you're not even going to get the opportunity to go to trial. Do you really think that if something like that, God forbid, was to happen, well, God forbid, but if it was to happen again, and a family takes these people appeals, like, do you know what I mean, goes through the new processes and whatever, where you can't just easily go to court, their case is getting dismissed. They're not going to hear back for maybe like 2 years talking about, we've got a lot of paperwork, we've got a lot of backlog, and so many excuses. But also as well, how will people be able to get support? Because now if you don't want the officers' names out there, you want to keep them anonymous, are they also going to then tell, I hope I'm not giving them ideas, child, but are they also going to then tell the victims' families that you can't publicly speak about this case until it's concluded? How then will they get the support of the community if they need it? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So it's just so much, it's sad, but not shocking.
See, let me ask this question though, because...
Oh, you can have a seat. Risha, you can sit. Yeah, you can sit that side.
Oh, sorry.
You had him sitting on the...
It's so good.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay.
That was that.
So...
Well, look at what it is. Look what the catch you're getting.
Man in handsome.
So you're so dramatic. You're actually so dramatic.
Why?
Just please. Did you say you were going?
I said I might. I said if I do come, I'll be late.
Okay.
I think you heard the conversations where you didn't want to do with it. You said, nope, not today. The one in the intro.
That was long before.
When you said go off.
No, before I said go off, I said I swear to God, I'm not having this conversation with you. You lot get your shit off.
Fair.
All right.
Fair.
Brent only gave you half my thing.
Ah, well, you know how Brent does.
Baby, I beg, please. Actually, this morning, what's going on?
All right. So let's try and see from the other side though, yeah. Because Yvette Cooper said,
Brent? Yeah, you like to be devil's advocate. Say see from the other side.
yeah. No, because like you said earlier though, Brent, yeah, there's certain black people who are saying, wait a minute, we're not for this anyway, right?
Yeah.
And because we're not for it, doesn't mean you should be challenging our blackness, right? Cool. So let's see it from the other side.
Yeah.
So Yvette Cooper said, again, she's the Home Secretary, said that Chris Kaba's death and the trial of Mr. Blake were held against a backdrop of fallen community confidence in policing and the criminal justice system across the country. There's lower confidence amongst black communities, right? But at the same time, the Home Secretary, she's obviously focused on security at home in the UK. When it comes to crimes like, let's just say, terrorism and stuff, and armed police are meant to be going to these situations to save people in the public, do we expect them to have the same level of scrutiny? Are you expecting the same level of accountability? So, for example, if a terrorist, we knew this person was involved in, I don't know, ISIS, for example, or extremist ideology, whatever it may be, and this person's come around the corner doing something at London Bridge, God forbid, would we hold the police to the same level of account?
Yeah, if they did what they did, if the circumstances were as Chris Kaba's was, then absolutely.
Okay.
Because again, it's not about that individual. It's about what's legal for the police to do.
Okay.
It's about what's just for them to have done. It's about them taking the right measures that they're meant to take.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? So even if they suspect someone's a terrorist and you think that the person lives here, you just go in there, just shooting anyhow, just shooting blindly, you absolutely should have a trial, because that's crazy that you would do that.
Okay.
Because with Chris Kaba's situation, they were chasing the car. They didn't even know that he was the one in the car.
Yep.
Do you know, I feel like it always it depends on the circumstances.
Because he just mentioned London Bridge.
Yeah.
So what did it do in London Bridge?
What do you mean?
Because we know what a previous terrorist did in London Bridge. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm basically just saying a new situation though.
So what happened in this new situation?
So, for example, let's just say this was somebody who's known to have terrorist links, right? Part of an extremist group or whatever it may be, and they've got intel saying this person's looking to do something at X time, whatever it may be, right? How do you expect them to kind of present? Because obviously, in the situation of somebody being armed, right? You see the gun, right? For example, if they are armed, right? Let's just say this person has got something to detonate. It's underneath their garments. Would you have the same sort of vim for the police? Because they're armed, but you just can't see it.
But do they know
so
that
they're relying on intel.
But again, though, do they know for a fact that the bomb is...
Well, intel could be wrong sometimes. But if you're thinking about the crowd of about 100 people, for example, on London Bridge at one time, how are you going to treat the situation?
Bear in mind, it's changed now.
Yeah.
Chris Kaba, by the way.
Yeah, of course.
Because
Yeah,
Intel wasn't present, right?
What,
they
with
didn't
Chris
know it was
Kaba's
Chris Kaba
case?
in the car.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. They
But
just
also
knew
as
the
well-
car
So
was
this
involved.
is a new scenario
Yeah.
you're basically putting to us.
Yes.
And Chris Kaba was one individual surrounded by police.
Yes.
This is them in a public space
Yes.
with other civilians.
But I'm basically saying, yes, it's definitely different. But I'm basically saying, would you want this to go to court still? Would you want it to go to court?
Yeah, because if it's a thing where if what they did was unjust,
Yeah.
I think it should always go to court.
What would
Have
deem
your
it
day in
unjust?
court. I mean, well, have a day in court means different things these days because people had a day the other day. He had a good day, that man. Mark, what's his name again? Lynch? What was it? Martin Blake. That's it. He had a great day in court. But it would, yeah. I feel like I just feel like things need to be investigated.
I don't think if there was someone if they got intelligence that someone's got a bomb on them and they shot them, no one ain't gonna say nothing.
But what if there was no bomb? So the
They got
intel was wrong.
intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
No, but that's the thing. You can't make mistakes, though. You're not trained to make mistakes. Mistakes is costing people's lives.
You don't train to get intel.
Yeah, but
You're supposed to trust the intel that you receive. So they don't train to get intel.
Yeah, but
Someone in a position of power above them gave them
but you
information and
also
they
have
acted
to.
on it. It's a
You also
mistake.
have to investigate the intel you receive. Though you can't just.
Not when you're in the field. Not when you're out in the field as an
but when
officer. You're going to get the information. You're going to act on the information that gets relayed, isn't it? So if the information is wrong, that's a mistake.
No, but you're given intel, then you go on the field. You go on the field based off the intel that you received. So you also have to make sure that intel you received is not false intel to then put you out on the field.
There's no world where armed
a silly manner.
police get sent somewhere to respond to something and they are investigating the information that they got. They got it sent somewhere. This is time sensitive. This is serious. They're the armed police. They're coming out. They've been sent somewhere and given information. There's no world where they check the information that they get.
They do.
How?
Of course they would.
Check if there's someone there with a bomb. How does the police officer that's going there with a gun to go and subdue this person check that they've really got a bomb?
Do you know how many times then they will get set up? Because you could just lie then. You could just... do you know how many ambushes would happen?
I think it's across what I say. So basically, there are different units responsible for whatever. So he's basically saying they've got an order. They don't have to worry about like if it's legit or not. They're just trained to just follow orders. The people responsible for doing that is the one who's not told them go and do that.
Yeah, so yeah, of course. Because I don't expect if the police get intel. I'm speaking that say they got intel from MI5, for example. I don't expect the police to get intel from MI5 and then the police start doing their own investigation.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the intel in general. Like wherever the intel comes from, you have to make sure it's come from a legit place. Whether it's given directly to the police, whether it's given to MI5 who then transfers to the police, wherever intel comes in generally, you have to make sure that it's come from a reliable source is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I think he was saying you were talking about the actual
That the
team
actual
that goes
police
out.
coming in.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
said crosswise.
Why is it very cross?
But the reason why I'm bringing this up, I know it's obviously not the same sort of case.
Yeah.
But I feel like the police are basically would ask the public to be like, okay, cool. In this particular situation, give us the benefit of the doubt because we're there to protect the public. And sometimes the intel is wrong. And this is kind of like the situation that I mentioned earlier. I'm not too sure if you heard about Azel Rodney in 2005, where they got intel that this guy and some other people in the car had 2 MAC-10s, right? They shot the guy 8 times, right? There was no MAC-10 in the car. They had a weapon, right? But it wasn't what they thought it was. And also, the police officer never saw him holding the gun.
But it's also important though to remember that Tony, who shot the guy 8 times, has 2 priors of shooting people.
Yeah.
It wasn't his first rodeo.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And
It's actually his last.
yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know, like, is this dangerous territory that we're going into?
But you know what though? Not every investigation would lead to courts.
Yeah.
But I do think it has to be investigated. You can't just go around just shooting and then blaming it on this thing that you never ever saw and then say, well, I thought I saw it. Like you haven't been trained. You're not a civilian. You haven't been trained to think that you're seeing things.
Yeah.
You've been trained in a way to make sure that you see and then the action you take is the best course of action. So I do believe there has to be some level of accountability because if we say that, okay, because you thought there was a terrorist there, then that means then we're weighing up then which crime is worse than what crime and what da-da-da-da. And so, but we're not all going to be linear on that because even in this kind of situation, there's people that don't think anything of it. They think, oh, the police was acting in their best interest. But in the same way, it could be a terrorist situation, but say the terrorist is from a country someone else is from, and they're like, no, actually, because that's this today. So to make it fair and a level playing field is that when you shoot a gun, you got to account for the bullets that you shoot. It doesn't. Not all investigation is going to lead to a court hearings and spending so much of taxpayers' money. It's not all going to be long-winded like that. However, the police need to know that they have to be accountable for every single bullet that they shoot, especially with a case where not all police officers get to carry guns. So if you're carrying a gun, then you must be able to say, well, this is why I shot this because da 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 da. And if they feel like your story's not really adding up, then investigations can go further. But there has to be. They need to know that they've got somebody to answer to. And unfortunately, with this new law, it sounds as though they don't need to answer to anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Like, do you get me? Like, there's there's not going to be anyone to answer to. Because even when they've gone to courts, nothing's happened.
Yeah.
In cases that a layperson will look at and be like, actually, that was wrong. So imagine then what else is going to be happening now. Knowing that they've got that shield anyway, even knowing that they could have gone to court, and some police officers have moved as reckless as they have. Can you imagine now that court isn't actually mandatory? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so it's about what it does, what it means moving forward for us in society. 'Cause that's crazy.
Is everyone okay though with the fact that the police officers will remain anonymous unless they're convicted? Or do you feel like their name should be revealed to the public?
You can join in if you want to.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like if you are doing a public service, then you should be publicly known. In my view, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like the rules of anonymity should apply to police officers for that reason. You know, at the end of the day, they're having an impact on the public, whether they do the right or wrong thing.
Yeah.
And if they are, going to court, especially in a matter like Chris Kaba, which is just, in my mind, it's become more of a tragedy than it already was in the first place. Do you know what I'm saying?
True.
And I just think it's just in my mind, like, there is a bias within the system, like, where we know that. I feel like you made a really good point though, of when officers and people that do that type of work are out in the field, the intel, they get the intel, they're not investigating the intel while they're on job. Do you know what I'm saying? So that kind of adds another dynamic to it that we do have to consider. Yeah. But in this case, it feels like the action was so over the top.
If you was an officer working, say, like firearms and stuff like that, would you want a certain amount of protection? Because obviously these people are doing things, we don't know what's in their heart, but they're doing things wrong in it. But what if your heart's clean and you're doing things the right way and you're doing a job that's serving and protecting and working? Don't you feel like you deserve a certain amount of protection in case something goes wrong? If you do something by accident, then people are vilifying you for it. Your name's out there, your family, you're this, you're that, and you're actually genuinely trying to help. Don't you think you should be afforded a certain amount of protection, a little bit, if that makes sense, for the good people? Because obviously they're getting tarred with the same brush, which is unfair, isn't it? But there must be some good officers.
Yeah.
Barely.
I mean, there's always good and bad, right? There's always good and bad.
There's always good and bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like, it's got to be fair, man. Like, in my mind, it's got to be fair. You can't have anonymity when people within the public are being put on trial and don't get anonymity. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So I agree with you about the protection of people and their families, especially if they're innocent, but make that across the board then. Do you know what I'm saying? Make that equal. You can't, it can't be one rule for one and another rule for everyone else.
Which is always has been.
And because I feel like it should be tighter rules for people in positions of like where you serve the public, for GP, for doctors, for nurses, for teachers, I feel like it should be not harder rule that makes your job harder to do. However, that you have to be accountable because of the people that you have access to. I'm a bit tricky on the anonymity thing because of social media. Okay. I feel like back in the day where we just really relied on like newspapers and stuff and just the news on TV, then I would say no for the anonymity. But now in the age of social media, where unfortunately people really do take things so extreme, I do have to think about like their families and stuff. Because why am I in it? My man's the crazy one. I didn't do anything. Do you get me? Like, and people take things too far, where they might start stalking their kids, and we see people do that on TV shows that are not real. Like TV shows that are not real. Yeah. How much more this real life situation and the family in danger. So there is that to consider. Yeah. But then also as well, though, I still don't think it should be anonymous. I think that maybe things should be put in place to protect your family whilst the trial is ongoing and stuff. But I don't think that just because of that, it should be anonymous.
So let me be real, right? This me being really real. I've never spoken about this, but obviously I've been through trials and tribulations very publicly. And I didn't, in my situation, considering it was very clear that I was innocent of this, you know,
Accusation.
this accusation, right? I was plastered all around the media. Now, this didn't only impact me; it impacted my family. I had journalists running up on my yard. Do you know what I'm saying? My baby sister, who's 10 years younger than me, getting harassed. You know, I'm having people, you know, trying to find, you know, my family and my friends, and you know, the media going crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm having, like, I'm waking up in the morning, leaving my yard to try and, you know, get a little bit of
Just clear your head a little bit.
Clear my head a little bit. I'm walking down the road. Like I left like 5 a.m. I left my house, walked down the road. I just see all these guys like gang, like acting like gang. I mean, this is like media journalists jumping out of their cars. Do you know what I mean? With equipment. I'm looking at I didn't even, you know, think twice when to even stop to take too much time to see what they were bringing out in their hands. I didn't know if it was weapons or if it was, I don't know if it was cameras, nothing. Do you know what I mean? And then people are like running, chasing, you know, after me, and I'm, you know, it's mad. So like the impact, you know, when, you know, you are in a situation, unfortunate situation like I found myself in, it's devastating for your loved ones.
For your loved ones,
Do you know what I mean? It's devastating. So do I believe in anonymity? Do you know what I mean? Until there is a verdict, of course I do. But it can't be one rule for one and another rule for every, you know, everybody else. That's not right. That's not fair. And how are you setting an example, you know, like that? You know, it's insane. You know what I'm saying?
When you think about that, what case was it recently? And that guy hadn't turned 18 yet. And then the judge was even like, well, he turns 18 next week. Put his details out there.
I remember. I know you're talking about.
I can't remember what the case was. But the guy was 17. And there was a whole thing, well, obviously, because he's technically, is it under 16 or under 18? 16, isn't it?
And there's recently stuff where the English
it
where
was,
they went crazy.
Was it that?
It was the young boy, and they made up the thing with the reform man and that. It was all the riots.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I think he was 15. Is it 16 or 18?
He was young anyway. They didn't want to.
Yeah, and then but literally they were like, oh, actually though, it's only a week to his birthday. Yeah, just put his details out there. Do you get me? So yeah, you can't have one. If we're gonna do that, we have to. We're gonna have to do that across the board.
Because you know, at the end of the day, the impact on people's lives, you know,
it's serious, man.
It is serious, and it can do damage that you can never recover from, mentally, psychologically, emotionally. You know, the family dynamic can be totally ripped apart. Do you know what I mean? Depression. People don't realize the ripple effect. You know, that can happen. You know, so it's a deep one, man. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all human beings. You know what I'm saying? So we should all kind of, in my mind, at least treat each other with a certain level of empathy and compassion and patience. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what's sad as well? I feel like people would be for the anonymity, because really and truly though, when you think about the police, I mean, their job it's not an easy job to do.
No,
regardless of whether you like them or not, it's not an easy job to do. It is difficult having to make split decisions. Sometimes when I'm driving, I don't know if I'm going to go left or right, and I'm having a hard time trying to decide if I want to go left or right. But I can't imagine being in the face of danger where it's like you could potentially get killed. Again, they've got family, they've got loved ones or whatever it is, and then they're seeing your colleagues as when you guys are under attack. So it is difficult. But I think that society's lack of trust in the police is why people wouldn't even want to hear this conversation about anonymity. Unfortunately. So unfortunately, they're the reason for said lack of trust. So just feel that they're having the day they deserve in terms of people not want to entertain this conversation about anonymity, because it could kind of make sense. Like, I can't deny that it would kind of make sense, given, it would make sense, to be fair. But unfortunately, because people don't trust the police.
The issue is, and I hear that. And the reason why they don't trust the police is because maybe there hasn't been enough emphasis on training. You know, the way that the feds deal with the public. You understand? But the thing is, you can train someone in skills, but you can't train integrity.
Word.
You understand? So it's like, you have to have already the right intentions if you're going into that career path. It can't be just, especially for like, you know, public services like that. You can't. I don't believe that you can be just going in there just to make money. You've got to be going in there with a real
genuine care.
Thank you. Genuine care. Absolutely. And for me, that's lost a lot. You know, and there isn't enough of an emphasis on that. So you're getting people who are probably not in the right mentality, you know, doing jobs on the front line that maybe should be maybe in the back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think they should be seriously vetted.
Yeah.
And they should have to. Obviously, everyone's human. You're
Yeah.
gonna get, you know, and people are gonna kind of. There's always gonna be someone that somehow gets through. You
Yeah.
know? But there should be a serious vetting and an onus
Yeah.
placed on character, integrity. You understand? Because that's the bit that I just feel like there hasn't been a lot of focus on.
Yeah.
What would you say though to the argument that we should give the police the benefit of the doubt, because they would say it's not about the money, because those who are actual firearms holders, right, they're actually volunteers. They don't get any extra money for being that, right? They're volunteering because they're saying from out of
Who's been a volunteer, Siri?
yeah. So basically, like they're kind of just on the same playing field as regular police.
Oh,
but to
okay,
be
okay.
like armed police, you
Oh, okay.
volunteer for it, and you don't get actual like extra money for that role.
Yeah, because they're happy to do it. That's
Yeah.
their happiness.
Yeah, but they would then say it's not about the money. It's more so about the fact that I really genuinely want to protect the public. So
Trigger
because
happy
of
man.
this, like help us out, sort of thing.
No. No, sorry. I didn't even know that you volunteered to be the one to carry. I think the part of the excitement of being able to shoot, especially after Tony's story. I don't know about that.
I don't think we can paint everyone with the same brush.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
Yeah, we can't, but
like I feel that's
unfortunately
slightly
though-
unfair. But unfortunately, obviously,
They're not making good for themselves.
yeah. I mean, the examples that we see
Yeah.
are very loud and negative. You see what I'm saying? But you never really hear of those stories, I guess, that actually the police have done something incredible.
You know, they do follow the rules and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, where they are following the rules and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Because as a public, as a society,
Yeah.
we gravitate to negativity.
But then I'm also on the vibe of I don't believe in congratulating a fish for swimming.
Yeah,
You're meant to.
I hear that. I
You're
hear
meant
that.
to do good, sir.
I totally hear that. But in my mind, like I also get kind of like I have a lot of thoughts about this idea of celebrity and
Yeah.
celebrities being held as heroes, because you know you're getting, you know, doctors and medical professionals that are saving lives on a daily and just going home,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean,
Yeah.
to their families and waking up and doing it all again, and
Yeah.
they're not getting awarded nothing. They're doing it out of goodness and love of their heart. But yet, as celebrities are the ones that are held as championed as heroes. Like, yeah, man, like the top of society.
Yeah.
Like, I have an issue with that. Like, you know, and it sounds weird because of the position I'm in, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't get my head around that. And I guess maybe because majority of my family have, since, you know, coming from the Caribbean and Africa, they have been nurses and worked
Yeah.
in the NHS and been midwives and looked after sick people, and
Yeah.
even me, like before I even did music, you know, I was a carer
Yeah.
for kids with disabilities.
Yeah.
So I'd give their families and their parents respite, and you know, take them out and you know, do certain activities and education. And they were in my care. I had to look after them, you know, full care, like, you know, intimate care, as well as, you know, day-to-day care
Yeah.
during that time that they were with me. So I guess I've seen, you know, I wasn't looking for no medal or no. I'm not talking about this to even you know what I mean? To even get any props or nothing like that. I'm talking about it because I have seen so many beautiful, like the most beautiful people in humanity get no acknowledgement, zero acknowledgement, and those who already have, you know, just get more.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just it's a wild one.
That's interesting, actually.
Man, I guess we have to wrap up the topic of the day.
do, man.
We've got a few things to get through today, man.
We do, and I'm glad you said that because we're gonna have a very interesting interview.
Yes, we
I never
are.
would have guessed that. It's really cool. All right, thank you, people. Let's get into more headlines.
All right, people. So South Korea has warned it could consider supplying weapons to Ukraine in response to North Korea's allegedly sending troops to Russia. So last week, I believe we spoke about this on the show as well. South Korea's spy agency said that 1,500 North Korean soldiers had been dispatched to fight with Russian forces against Ukraine. North Korea and Russia have denied the reports. However, in a video shared with ITV News, their partner rather, CNN, North Korean soldiers can be seen receiving uniforms and equipment in a Russian training ground. On Tuesday, the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, described reports of the Kremlin turning to North Korea to provide troops for its self-destructing war machine as an embarrassing and desperate act. Next headline, trigger warning on this one, guys. And a woman has been arrested on suspicion of manslaughter following the deaths of 3 people at a care home. Dorset police said earlier the deaths at the Gainsborough care home in Swanage were being treated as unexplained, but potential carbon monoxide poisoning was the primary line of inquiry. Emergency services were called to Gainsborough care home in Swanage and Dorset at 5:20 in the morning. 7 people were taken to hospital and residents were evacuated from the building to a nearby church hall. Police said that a 60-year-old local woman had been detained on Wednesday evening. Detective Chief Inspector Neil Third said, as part of our investigation, we have made 1 arrest to enable us to establish whether there had been actions or omissions which are grossly negligent and gather as much information as we can about what has happened. And our last headline, sadly, authorities have confirmed that at least 5 people have been killed and 22 injured in an attack at the headquarters of an aviation company near the Turkish capital, Ankara. The Interior Minister, Ali Yerlikaya, said that 2 attackers, a woman and a man, had been neutralized, adding that the attack had most likely been involved in the Kurdish rebel group, the PKK. No group has claimed responsibility for the attack as yet. Turkey's defense ministry announced late on Wednesday that airstrikes had been launched at Kurdish rebel targets in northern Iraq and northern Syria. And various videos from the attack early on Wednesday show at least 2 people firing guns around the entrance of Turkish Aerospace Industries, which is located some 40 kilometers outside of the capital. And that's it for our headlines. Time to pay them bills.
Okay, let's get into some word on road. All right, people. As we reported quite a bit now about Liam Payne's passing, so he was a member of One Direction and sadly passed away over about 2 weeks now when he was in
Argentina.
I was about to say Australia. That's double boy. Yeah, he was in Argentina. So his girlfriend has put a statement out. Anyway, I talked about this last week when I said people are very weird, and people were in her comments asking her like, when are you going to say something? Why have you said something? Like, social media, yeah, weird. But anyway, she's posted now and she shared saying, I don't even know where to begin. My heart is shattered in ways I can't put into words. I wish you could see the huge impact you've had on the world, even as it feels so dark right now. She said he brought so much happiness to everyone and positivity to everyone, his fans, his family, friends, especially her. And she just expressed how he was the love of her life, her best friend, and yeah, how special he was. And he was very kind soul and had the most loving spirits. She says that she feels that she's lost the best part of herself and she can't imagine a day without his laughter and his love. And she also said that a few weeks ago, we sat outside on a beautiful evening manifesting our lives. This is actually sad because she shared the note where he wrote how he wanted to marry her within a year. So sad. But yeah, so she said a few weeks ago, we sat outside on a beautiful evening manifesting our lives together. She said, keep your notes close, even though you told me not to look at it. It said, me and Kate to marry within a year, marry or engage within a year and together forever, 444. It's like a number. If you're into like astronomy and that stuff, 444 is like a number of sorts. And she says she would love him for the rest of her life and carry on and yeah, keep his memories alive. That's very, very sad, man. But love and light to her. I know his dad is currently out there trying to make the arrangements for his body to come back so they can have the funeral next month. But yeah, it's very sad. Cardi B was going off on Offset. She's now deleted the tweets, but sometimes because it's obviously this thing. I don't subscribe to it where people think that celebrities act the same way because they're role models. I think that you should find a role model within your household, and you model to that role model. But with Cardi, I always have to. It's people have to remember that she's literally a normal girl that just became famous. That she's just a normal girl and she became famous. She and Offset are currently going through a divorce. They're currently going through a divorce. They've got 3 children together. One of them is 3 months old or something like that. So anyway, she was on Twitter and she was just saying some stuff that I just think, sister, I think you should have kept that in the drafts. But she basically tweeted stuff like, She said, bro, I wish the worst on this man. I never hated somebody so much, and these bitches be so thirsty to have him. Then she says, please take this man off my hands. This garbage bag is too heavy. She says, and then obviously someone was like, he's the father of your children. Like, what are you doing? Then she said, yeah, he is. That's why I don't wish him death.
Jeez.
Here's a tweet to her. She said she wishes to run over. But you say you don't wish him death. Sister. Anyway, she then says, yeah, he is. That's why I don't wish him death. But I truly hate this dirty ass narcissistic piece of shit. And his family and his friends never check him. That's why he's always going to be a piece of shit of a person. And then, yeah, she just was talking about the whole thing. Someone was like, oh, yeah, you definitely still love him because all this passion. Again, toxic love that you people love to... I'm not going to go on that rant today. But yeah, anyway. Then she goes and she says, no, I don't want him to get... No, she said, no, she doesn't want him to die, obviously. But she does want him to get run over by a truck. It's just... That's basically what she's doing. Obviously, she's deleted the tweets now. But it's just, yeah, it's just, no, we just didn't need to know all this stuff that's happening here. There's that. But in the light of still making bad decisions, someone over in Diddy's camp told his kids that it's a good idea to release a new show that shows the behind the scenes of the family. Obviously, I feel like this is PR. I told you this a lot. He's getting that bell. Obviously, this is PR. It could go both ways. Either the PR team are not thinking straight and don't know what the like. I don't think that Diddy's image is one that can be salvaged. I think that's just how it is now. I think it is. I think for the rumors and stuff of all the sex parties or whatever, that's always been there for years. People really didn't care. Mm-hmm. But I think that after seeing the video of Cassie, it's just different now. Yeah. Do you get me? It's just different now. So anyways, his son Quincy, which again, I talked about Quincy yesterday in his lovely tribute about all these conspiracy theories against his father. But so basically he's got a new show project anyway. It's Just a Vlog. And essentially it's going to be behind the scenes of their family. So almost like a get to know us. Because they think that that's what we want to do at this moment in time. And then obviously Diddy features in that because one of them is like about their family vacation and you see Diddy in the background there. And I just don't think it's going to do what they think it might do. Like, I just think that as a team, I would have thought, it just doesn't seem like it's going to be, I just don't think it's going to do what they think it's going to do.
But if it shows the human side, yeah, the soft father side to Diddy.
Soft.
But you know what I'm trying to say, like, to Diddy. Remember, like, the jury hasn't been selected yet. Right?
Yeah.
So if, for example, whoever's on the jury sees this
Yeah.
prior to this happening,
I think,
they might think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
See, that's what I think
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
angle is. And that's, I don't want to say anything, but you just said it. And I think that's what the angle is. I think there's nobody that they can pick on the planet that hasn't been privy to the news around Diddy. So you can't really pick a human being to be not biased.
So let's soften it up kind of thing.
Yeah, it's impossible. So the only way they can kind of, and also apparently there's some sort of documentary coming out against him that I think 50 Cent is producing or directing or doing the most. Do you understand?
Word.
Which
That's
is
actually
crazy.
it.
You see when he says that stuff, I can't never tell if he's being serious.
No, he's dead ass.
Yo.
He's dead ass, Marks.
Like,
Marks, he means that shit.
Yo, if you don't do it, somebody is going to because
No, but in the
obviously
works. I reported on it. It's actually like...
No, but I'm
it's
saying
actually
even
in the
when
works.
I know, but even when he's saying it, I still think you're not.
50's cold-hearted, man.
Because it's always trolling,
50's
yeah.
Like, you're not doing
cold-hearted,
this,
man.
man. Like you're
That he's
surely
cold-
not
He's
gonna do this.
cold-hearted, man.
You think he's gonna
I
narrate?
honestly,
You think he's gonna narrate it?
Yo,
think he's gonna feature it,
Trust
I think
me.
he's going to tell the story about when Diddy tried to take him shopping.
Oh
I think
yeah, I
that's
heard
really
that
what-
one.
Yeah, I think that's...
Yeah.
I think that's might be the opening scene.
That was kind of
But
mad
that shit
though.
really pisses me off.
Like, I'm not gonna lie,
course it's weird.
that was a little strange.
It's
Like,
very
the next
strange.
man telling you, I'm gonna
I'm gonna
take you
take you
shopping.
whatever
Are
you
mad?
want.
Whatever you
Just
want.
come.
You
He
just
said, I'll
come
take
with
you
me.
shopping, daddy.
I'll take you over. Come on, man. That's
Daddy?
nah. Come on,
And what's
man.
even mad is you told
Come on now.
a man with money that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
worst thing about it.
That's what's crazy.
That's the
crazy.
cheekiest part.
Because someone broke.
cheeky,
Someone broke might consider it.
Yeah.
Okay, daddy.
Yeah.
Okay, daddy.
No, for real, bro. Like 50, no, it's mad. It's mad.
It's actually crazy.
So on the point of the documentary, right?
Yeah.
Is this not a recall?
It is.
Rico
case.
It's a Rico, yeah.
Rico, yeah.
Anybody
Okay.
connected to him, even his children, might be
That's what's
swamped in.
crazy.
Yeah.
So maybe the documentary is to basically show the human side of the children,
Rather than,
rather than him.
Because he did play. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean that's techie. I'm not gonna lie to you because obviously what's kind of come out recently is that some of the kids also have got cases pending.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like that's an isolated cases are they're done in isolation in terms of you can't. There's nothing you can do on the outside that can help you when you're within a case. Like the evidence and the proof is the only thing that matters. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just feel like going back to what you were saying, that it's very much a case of trying to get in front of further narratives that will only go against him in the court. You need to somehow, and maybe it might help the kids too that are also involved, like you said, and got cases pending. But somehow you need to show a side publicly, right? So that at least a jury, or someone in the jury might come across it to go, actually, I
just need one person, You
just need one person.
To bring it to the table to the rest of people,
100%. So it's very, very techie, man. Super. But I feel sorry for the kids, man. The young kids.
Do you know what it is?
The young the girl, like the
I feel
young
sorry for the girls.
The young
I
girls.
think with the boys,
crazy.
One of them, the one that really looks like Diddy. Oh, that's his
Christian.
right. Yeah, that's
King
right.
Combs.
Because he was even in one of the other lawsuits by that Rod guy, the one who produced the Love album. Or what the album was
Lil
called.
Rod.
Yeah, so the other one, who's the one that looks like him again?
King Combs.
Christian.
Christian.
Yeah, that one, Christian. Yeah. So he's got his own situation, and there's a lawsuit going on behind the scenes about something that he's done, that he's been alleged to have done, and da. But it's the girls I feel sorry for, because that's just.
Yeah, the young girls, man.
Yikes.
They're just kids, man.
Yeah.
And one of them's like, she's not even 3 years old or something.
Yeah, it's got a baby as well.
Like
Yeah,
a baby girl. Like, that's just horrendous.
it's horrible. But yeah,
Sad, man. Very sad.
very, very. But yeah, he's got a vlog coming out that will essentially is just to show, the family side of it, and obviously they're going to show the family vacation and da. And it'll be interesting to see what that does. Because to be fair, actually, the public are not the ones that do the public are not the jury. So like you said, it could be a
100%.
thing where it's just because all you really need is just one person. One person needs to bring it to the table, the other people, before you know it.
Boom.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, so I think that's it for me today, actually. Yeah, that is it for me today. Let's get into the interview. Why do you whisper again? We have a lovely guest with us today. Lovely, lovely, lovely guest with us. You've heard him speak anyway already. But please, can you let the people know who you are, sir?
Oh, welcome, people. It's Oritsé Williams here. Founder member of JLS. I guess solo artist now in my own right.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't want to show up, you know what I'm saying?
No, solo artist. Come on.
But, I've been doing this music thing for a minute now. And, man, just a regular guy, man, just pulling up and just having a conversation, you know what I'm saying?
Love it.
Yeah.
So before we get into the conversation, we have a game we love to play with our guests.
Okay.
Yes, and we do have a leaderboard. So we are keeping score. It's basically a general knowledge questions. Some of them are like this or that.
Okay.
So like blue or black kind of
Yeah,
thing. And then general knowledge that actually have answers. The more you answer, the more points you get. But if you don't know one, you can just say pass. You do have 1 minute to answer as many as you can.
Oh, boy.
And it's over a 140 beat.
Oh, right.
Sounds like a lot of instructions.
So am I going to be rapping?
No, you don't have to.
Spitting bars.
No, you don't have to. No. Yeah, that's all the rules, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it's not that bad. You got this.
And don't dwell if it is you don't know. Just say pass.
All right.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Fair. Okay.
You've not got this.
All right,
Thank
cool.
you very much for rooting for us. That's what I needed to hear. Thank you, babes.
No,
All
because
right.
I ain't got that bit.
I know. I said I'd love the support. Okay, shall I start?
All right, cool.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah, man. Let's run it.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Lagos or London?
Lagos.
If A is the first letter in the alphabet, O is what?
Oritsé. No, sorry. No, you flopped me. I flopped that one.
Okay, do you know what? If X equals 1, 5X equals
5.
Solo artist or in a group?
Solo.
Daily Mail. On what continent is Sri Lanka?
Huh?
What continent is Sri Lanka?
The Asian continent. Cool. Yeah.
GG is the logo for what Italian brand?
Gucci.
Spring or autumn?
Autumn.
What colours in a Nigerian flag?
Green and white.
Okay. Gillian Joseph presents the news at 10 on what platform?
BBC.
Kemi Badenoch or Angela Rayner?
Angela.
What is the main ingredient in Efo Riro? You should know this.
Palm oil.
Fair.
What's the capital of Turkey?
Pass.
Producing or songwriting?
Songwriting for sure.
Finish the sentence. Boycott.
The Popo.
All right.
Well, that'll do it. Tell him about to be like, Oritsé said he did not want to be in JLS.
No, I didn't say that. I'm only playing.
Do you know what? I think we have to give him the palm oil one. We have to give him the palm oil one. We have to.
Yeah.
Because anywhere you find Nigerian food is oil.
Yeah.
So fair. What are you going to say, Brent?
Which artist just wanted to be a symbol? It's a Prince.
Prince.
Yeah.
I got that.
No. You just wanted to be want all to just be what your name is.
I love that.
That's a different level of celebrity. Yeah.
I love that.
Come on now.
But also, that question is very funny because who the hell is in ABCD? Like, it was-
Come on, man.
Come on now.
So you lot are
Come on.
killing me with that.
Honestly.
But how many letters are in the alphabet? 26?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that? 15? 16?
It is 15.
Go on.
See, just,
No.
Bad boy
You have time to
thing.
do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm just thinking.
yeah.
There's 26. I just thought where it was. I took 10 off.
That's just quiet for 10 minutes.
No, I just took 10 off because I thought where it is. Elemental P.
Nah, don't let them talk to
Yeah,
you like that.
but-
They said you were carrying the one.
Okay, cool. It's all right. It's all right.
They said you was carrying the one
Do they do? They
multiplied
watch-
by 2.
They watched Jesus, you know, and they still denied it. It's cool.
That's dangerous territory. But yeah, how are you anyway?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Like, listen, I'm sweet, man. I'm
Good.
obviously in the solo era now.
Love it.
Also, I'm in my love era.
Love
You know what I'm
that.
saying? My
Yes,
wife.
congratulations.
Thank you
So you had a gender
much.
reveal the other day.
Yeah, man.
sick
You know,
congrats.
a little boy. Do you know what I mean? Little
Oh, it's
king.
beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Honestly, sweet, man. Honestly, I'm just feeling so good about life
That's
right now.
good.
I'm probably in the most happiest chapter of my life
Yeah.
ever. So,
Wonderful.
yeah, man. Everything's cool, man.
That's really good.
Yeah, we're
I
there.
have a question, right, behind the scenes. Obviously, we've seen some groups, like no longer big groups. Does that decision come from you guys as individuals, or does it come from the execs?
You really want to get me in Daily Mail? You know, obviously,
Okay, in general, speak like hypothetically in,
in
general. Other
hypothetically,
groups, not
in,
yours.
in general,
Yeah.
it usually is, you know, somebody within a group that, you know,
Okay, he wants to tap out. Fair. I hear it. No, but
So-
no, fair.
you know, that's usually what it is. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? That's more times than not.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Who wants? Because who would, you know, what executive would want to stop?
That's the thing, yeah.
Something that's going so well. Like, do you know what I'm saying? No
But then
way.
how'd you not go on as a 3 though?
Huh?
I'd got actually
Wow,
depending
you're
on the number.
really yo.
No, this is me
Yo.
thinking out loud. No.
Yo, you trying to create drama for me?
No. Do you know what it is? No. There was me thinking out loud. So I think out loud a lot. So it wasn't in relation to you. You just happened to be in a group before. And I just happened to go say number 3. But anyways, how are you finding it being a solo artist though?
It's food for the soul.
Okay.
You know, I'm definitely very much in a space. Obviously, I get to still enjoy touring with the boys whenever they want to tour.
Yeah.
And whenever they want to do anything that's the group related. So I
Yeah.
still get to be a part of that and enjoy that and have fun with that.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely in that space whereby my culture, my heritage, my experiences, I need to channel that
Yeah.
expression
Yeah.
musically and creatively.
Yeah.
And so I'm just in this space now whereby, I don't know, life just feels quite poetic and it feels
Beautiful.
quite like, it's mad. Like I met my hero the other day, Lauren Hill, you can see on the
nice.
jacket, you know what I'm saying?
That was a nice jacket.
Thank you very much, you know. You know, I'm total fanboy of Lauren Hill. You know what I'm saying? You know, I couldn't believe it. I met Lauren and Wyclef and
Oh, nice.
and that was dope. And again, just a total 360 moment.
Yeah.
Like total, like growing up, I love the Fugees
Yeah.
and Lauren were my go-to.
Yeah.
Like I studied Lauren. That Miseducation album, are you crazy? Like, listen, I got the thing on my arm, you know what I mean? 5 Grammys, the Miseducation, Lauren Hill. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I just couldn't believe it. And
Yeah.
and the way she pulled me in and embraced me, I proper sound like a
Oh,
fan
that's
right
so
now.
lovely.
But I'm unashamedly gonna
No, you're
just
giving her
gas
flowers.
it.
Yeah,
man,
that's what it is,
100%. Like she's just, man, like that was such a beautiful moment
that's
for me.
beautiful,
I couldn't
yeah.
believe it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Obviously, I've lived a very, very crazy, dynamic
Mm-hmm.
life. I lived in Trinidad and Tobago when I was a kid.
Oh,
Um,
that's
and-
his people.
yeah, and I went to school there.
Oh, nice.
As a young kid. And then
Are you from there?
so the whole black
I knew the
community,
Nigerian
the whole
side
black
of you.
community are trying to find out where's Oritsé
No,
Williams
but I
from.
always said you were Nigerian. I said, oh, Nigerian
So-
brother. So
And the Caribbean people are like, yo, but he's West Indian. No, I'm the way I look at it is, and you know, I've coined my own sound, which I
Okay.
call Afro Island.
Oh,
so Afro
nice.
Island sound. So
oh, I like that.
I'm African and Caribbean.
Okay.
Honestly, you guys are gonna want to find out where my parents are from and all of that. But so I'm half Trini, half Jamaican, but my roots are in Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay.
That's basically what it is.
You know, so funny. I'm so Nigerian. I never even considered for a second you could be from anywhere else.
Yeah.
So that man's Nigerian.
Yeah.
What am I right?
So that's what it is, and you know, and I was very much growing up. I was very much wanting to study. No, my family made it very important that you know we knew about our Africanness. It was a very, very important thing, and very unique thing because at that particular time there was such a huge divide between the Caribbean community and the African community. So here you have, you know, this young boy and his family who all have traditional tribal Nigerian names. My name is Oritsé Jolomi. You understand? So that's my name, and then some of my middle names, Aminu Alumide, you know. So that's my culture, my African culture. Do you know what I mean? Is stamped on me. It's within me. Do you understand? And I was traveling, you know, with my family to Nigeria as much as I was to the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You understand? So growing up, I was as much African Nigerian as I was Caribbean.
That's beautiful, man.
You feel me? So it's I had that very unique experience.
Yeah.
You know, because no one was that. You understand?
exactly,
I can chat patois and I can chat pidgin.
Love
Do you-
that.
do you
Balance.
understand? Do you understand? Balance.
Balance.
The thing is, we have quite a big Nigerian community in Trinidad, and we also have a lot of Trinidadians who are very, very pro-black. And even my cousin Chike, he changed his name off the back of that. So yeah. I'm
understand
listening
that?
to all of this.
Oh my gosh, how have I just only clocked that?
Yeah, for real.
Chike is an Igbo name.
Yeah.
I never
Igbo
clocked
name.
that. All the time I hear him, I just,
Chika's Igbo name.
it's actually crazy. I never clocked that.
Yeah.
What was his name before?
I don't know that. What do you know them TK? What do you know them TK?
You're actually ridiculous. I can say a name like that. That's my cousin. But to be fair, that is one thing I do like, because you can hear, like in your music, you hear the Africanness in there. Like it comes natural. 'Cause you know, sometimes you can just tell people are just kind of riding a wave.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like you just, it's what's popping right now, so that's what I'm gonna do. But you can tell that it's natural to you, like it's within you. Kind of things. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I've been desperately, you know, over the years wanting to be able
Do
to
that.
get this side of me, you know what I mean, out to the forefront. And it, you know, time is everything. I really believe in God's time.
Amen.
I don't try and force anything or rush anything.
Hallelujah.
So sometimes people go, yo, why weren't you doing this immediately when you came out of the band or this and that, whatever else? And I'm like, just because God's time, man.
Time.
Like, you understand?
Yeah, and it's
Like,
happening at the perfect time now.
and I feel so. You understand? I feel so. I mean, the music is connecting in just incredible ways. You know, the community are embracing me.
Yeah.
You know, in just the most loving,
Yeah.
you know, beautiful ways. You know, I mean, I don't want to boast, but you know, on social media, on TikTok, online, on streaming
It's
platforms,
very wholesome to see.
it's crazy. You know, I performed at Notting Hill Carnival.
Nice.
You know, this year. You know, back to the ends. You know, I'm from West London, Shepherd Bush originally.
Okay.
So for me, you know, it's just weird. If there was a film crew that was with me 24/7, you would just, what you would see is you would just see me completely authentically just embracing and taking everything in. You know what I'm saying? And just being actually amazed, but also so comfortable
Yeah.
with this journey.
You sound so wholesome. Like your life is just like just filled with goodness. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I've had some troubles as well.
Yeah.
So, but
But this is nice to see. This is good. Yeah.
I feel good right now.
So this expression of your Africanness, yeah, did you feel like that was kind of you felt constrained when you were in the group then, or did you just see it maybe just?
So like, I wouldn't say I felt constrained because what I do understand is each situation is different.
Absolutely.
And you have to just embrace, each situation for what it is. And I guess for me, the struggle that I had in terms of the group was the fact that I had grown up on music like Jodeci and Boyz II Men and Lauryn Hill and D'Angelo and Bilal and Erykah Badu and I'd grown up with all this kind of sounds around me. I didn't really know or understand pop commercial music. That's not something that was ever in my household.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So this was like going through, for example, a TV show and then having an incredible A&Rs and record labels that could see exactly what it was that the group needed for that time and the sound.
Yeah.
I was learning. In all honesty, for me, it was an education. I was learning about pop music and
business,
pop culture.
yeah.
And business. And that's right. Music business, pop culture and pop music. I was just learning. That didn't come natural to me. So it was interesting because obviously when we started to record music and write music, I was learning how to write, pop songs. Essentially, whereas, the music I had listened to, everything was so poetic and so emotional. So a lot of producers, some of the producers at that time, would sometimes pull me aside and say, look, your voice is too soulful. It's too emotional. I don't know. And that was hard for me to hear. Like, I don't know how your voice contributes to the group because all the other three boys, they have very much a pop sound.
It sounds,
But your voice, it sounds too, it's too black. It's too black is what they said, And so, that was hard. And I had to deal with that. Aside from the group. And how did that make me feel? It made me feel like I needed to become more versatile as a vocalist. So I started to try and, I was in vocal training and I'm all about my study. So I was just listening to a lot of like more kind of poppy singers and trying to find out how can I make my sound? How can I change my voice essentially to fit more of the group sound? And I remember the moment that happened, and then definitely the studio process and being with pop producers, they started to embrace my voice a lot more. But then the whole world did a shift, and suddenly now
your voice is in fashion.
Now my voice is in fashion. So it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Where they what they want to hear is they want to hear something that feels authentic.
Now they want soul.
They want soul. They want the soul. So, yeah, man.
What was that like? Even because obviously around the time where like with JLS and stuff, typically with groups that blew up the way you guys were, you guys are one of the biggest bands in this country.
Yeah.
But when you have a black person there, obviously I know Marvin's mixed, but when you have a black person there, you tend to be like the token black sometimes.
Yeah.
Or like that's the person they get to rap. Like we've seen it with so many, even the girl groups. That's the black person is the one they get to do the urban stuff. Did you have to deal with that? And how old were you actually when you went on X Factor?
I mean, I must have been about 2021 or something.
You guys were young.
Yeah.
So you're all the same age?
So we're varied ages. I'm kind of, I'm the second oldest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can't remember, did you guys go in as individuals? Did you go as a group?
No, I put the group together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that. How did you do that? Like, how did you meet them?
So, I mean, the idea for putting a group together first started whilst I was in Nigeria. And I was living in Nigeria, going to school in Nigeria, BIS, British International School.
Oh,
Victoria Island. Yeah. So I would obviously, because I was in boarding, I had a lot of time on my hands because there was nowhere for me to go to.
So honestly, you have time in boarding school.
Do you understand? I had no home.
You have time. That's how you do your homework. Quick.
Listen,
You
trust
got
me.
time.
So I spent a lot of time, in my room whilst other students were going home to their family.
Yeah.
Just with my guitar.
Oh, because your family was here.
Yeah, because my family was in the UK. I spent a lot of time just, I had a guitar that I picked up locally and just was writing songs. And if I wasn't playing guitar and writing songs, I was watching DSTV and watching the African music channels with all the.
That was
the
a good
artists.
time.
Yeah.
It was honestly crazy.
Good time.
So one of the
Sorry,
biggest.
DSTV is like the sky.
Yeah,
Like your
that's it.
TV.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's
Thank
right.
you. And one of the groups that I loved at the time was Star Plus.
Love Style Plus. Love it. Love Style Plus.
Ages, you know.
Love Style Plus.
Now, if you're
Oh.
a real Nigerian, you'll know that them guys were literally superstars at the time. They were like
Superstars.
boys to men of Africa. Let's just
Thank
say.
you very much.
They were
Give
like
their flowers.
boys to men. Give them their flowers, man. They were like
Lifestyle
boys
plus.
to men of Africa. And honestly, I'm telling you now, I've never seen or heard greater talent than when I was in Nigeria. Never.
Well, that'll do it.
Let me tell you something. It's crazy. Don't get me wrong, please, for my Trini brother. You know, the West. You know, in the Caribbean is incredible too. But because I was, I guess, now in my teen years and starting to find myself as a musician, whilst I was in Nigeria, right? I was amazed. I was just amazed. Like I felt so British, like and so out of rhythm when I went to Nigeria because everyone's talented. Everybody's talented. If they don't sing, they can drum. If they don't drum, they've got rhythm. Like for sure, everybody's got rhythm.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That is insane, bro. So like it's crazy. So so
No, that rhythm's underrated, you know, because
Listen.
people just can't dance like that. Like you don't, like
No,
it's
you
mad.
can't.
bro,
You can't. Yeah,
trust me. You're gonna get 1 or 2 in 10 that definitely don't have no rhythm. But in Nigeria, everybody. So
Strong
you
10.
it's just different, man. Like you understand. So for me, I was seeing a lot of vocal harmony groups at the time, and so I was starting to, note down on like my my school diary and stuff like that, thinking about coming back to the UK and what I wanted to do. So what I wanted to do was actually have my own record label.
Okay.
Right. And I wrote down this record label called Black Giant Records, right? Which was funny because obviously Burna Boy has the
Boy, yeah.
African
That's the
Giant.
first thing I thought when you said Black Giant. I said, look at that.
Yeah, so I had like Black Giant Records, and I was like writing, like doing the logo and everything else.
Nice.
And then I was sorry. And then I was thinking about the artist that I wanted to be on the label.
Yeah.
So I wanted an act like Star Plus. So you know what I mean? I wanted a all male vocal group, right? So my idea was to come to the UK and to create a vocal group. I was writing songs for this group.
For this group.
Like it was crazy. I had this song called Are You Real or Just a 419? You say you want real love, but there's no signs. Like it was like
That's lit.
I still remember it from then. Do you know what I mean?
do that.
Because like
Do
419
what?
I'm just saying.
because back
What? Go on. It's not about me. Today. That's what I'm doing.
You gotta get.
you got an album in the works. but back then, it was like, I just said to myself, I'm gonna come to the UK. I'm gonna be a music exec, and I'm gonna put together a group, manage the group. Do you know what I mean? And I've got all these songs written for the group. But then what was happening was, I got to the UK. I started to continue the evolution of, of my progression musically. But then I was getting picked out to go to do a lot of. I was getting picked out to be a part of certain groups, and I was like, why right now is that happening?
Yeah.
My mentor in the UK is a guy called Noel McCoy, right? Unfortunately, he passed a few years ago, and he was one of the the best UK underground soul singers, right? So he would be performing with people like Don E and Omar and these really UK soul singers, and Noel was very much within. He was part of the pioneering of the acid jazz scene, which is, and I used to follow Noel around to gigs and stuff, and I wanted to be an R&B soul singer. Like, do you know what I mean? That's what I wanted to be, right? So I'll be going to the jazz cafe. I was like Noel's little protege. I remember Terry Walker. She saw me as a youth, always following Noel around, like selling T-shirts for Noel and CDs, and Noel's looking at me like, because I was a hustler, bro. So I'm in Jazz Cafe, I'm in all these places, this young kid, and all these older women looking at this young boy, young black boy, going, boy, he's a handsome young boy, you know what I mean? This kind of thing, you know what I mean? He's cute, he's so cute. Terry used to always see me and go, no man, this cute boy that's always with you, man. Like, do you know what I mean? It's so funny. I used to blush, I'm like, oh right, it's Terry Walker. Like it's mad. Like and Noah was like, boy, Oritsé, him really sell out the t-shirts and the and the albums and this and that. So he loved me because I was a hustler. And then at the end of the night, Noah would be like, all right, you hold that. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? You did well today. Do you know what I'm saying? Wicked. And I just wanted to be like Noah. I just wanted to be a soul, an R&B singer. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So being in a group was definitely not the first thing on my mind. But then what had happened was I was one time I was part of an urban music academy called Eclipse UK at the time. That a guy called Femi was running.
Yeah.
Femi is actually John Boyega's manager. So in the end they kept the acting side as an identity drama school. They kept the acting side and closed down the music school. The music side. You understand? So we were kind of left to our own devices, right, at that particular time. So whilst I was training with Noah was like, yo, there's this group that's being put together. I want to send you to this guy who's like a big deal in the music industry, and I want you to go for this group. I'm like, no. Like, what are you talking about?
Put me into something else again, yeah.
Like, you're saying I should be in a group. Like, and he goes, Oritsé, opportunities don't come often in this industry, and there's something that I think will be good for you. Listen, boy, go in and not come back, basically. And I was like, rah, like, not like my mentor, like, you're telling me to, like, that we're done here. Like, you're moving me on to this situation. So anyway, I went over to this situation at the dance attic in Fulham. Now, the guy that was running it, it was actually a development deal with Sony BMG. Okay. So I met these other guys, all pretty boys, whatever else. I walked in, pretty much the token black guy. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of see. I said, okay, I see what I'm going here. Do you know what I'm saying? And then. I rehearsed with the boys for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And I was like, do you know what? This just ain't for me.
Really? Oh, wow.
I was
just
like,
jealous boys.
No, it wasn't. It was different. It was some different
people.
guys.
Okay.
And the guys said to me, the guys that I was in the group with at the time said to me, yo, listen, this is a deal with Sony BMG. Like if you leave this situation, you ain't never gonna get a situation. This is gonna be the biggest mistake of your life.
Oh, wow.
But my heart just didn't feel it.
How old were you at this time?
I must have been like 18.
That's deep to tell an 18-year-old, Rest of my life.
Yeah.
Do you know life expectancy is?
It's crazy, 18. Because
that's crazy.
It was very soon after I came back from Nigeria and moved back to the UK.
Yeah.
So I was like, my heart just was telling me, yo, like, I just don't see the vision for the group. And me, I'm very much an instinct person. I'm very much a feeling person. So, an energy, like, and I wasn't feeling the energy. It just felt very plastic, very manufactured, very, it just weren't feeling real to me. Yeah. You understand? And I already had my doubts about the group thing, And then I didn't realize, but the people that were putting the group together was Nick Raphael and Joe Charrington from Epic Records, who end up being my A&Rs.
No way.
In the end anyway.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So anyway, the group shut down, whatever else. And then, I kind of went home and I said to myself, because me, I'm a person, where once I lock in and I focus on something, I'm obsessed, right? It's like, it's an obsession. I have to see it through to the highest level. I have to do all the research and everything. Yeah. So I went home and I started thinking about the group thing, going, well, obviously, maybe I should be in a group right now. Maybe that's what my life is telling me. That the pattern of my life is telling me maybe I do need to be in a group right now. Yeah. So then I started to go into deep research on groups. I started studying groups from, Temptations, Boyz II Men, Jodeci, Pulled Up Style Plus again. Do you know what I mean? A couple of the African groups that I experienced in Nigeria. There's a couple of West Indian groups too that I was looking at the time. But then I started to look at some of the pop groups as well, like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and and B2K and all these different things. So I started to just study and and I said and as I said, it was the study that made me then come up with the idea for the group. So I started thinking, okay, I know how I want to put this group together now, but I'm going to be in the group. So then I started to go out there and essentially put the band together.
Oh, wow.
And once I had found the members for the group, as you see them today,
That's actually so cool, you know.
yeah. And for me, the motivation, I don't know if you know this, but my mum was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 12 years old.
About that as well, yeah.
Yeah, so myself and my younger brother, Temi-san, we had an idea that he was going to become a medical scientist. I was going to become a musician, try and raise lots of money, and together we would fund a cure for our mum. That was
I would have cried so much as your mum. Oh,
Yeah, that was
I
a
want to cry
vision.
now. That's so sweet.
Powerful, man.
That's really lovely.
That was a vision. So
Yeah.
it was.
That's so sweet.
It had to happen. Do you know,
Yeah.
by any means necessary.
Yeah.
I was just on it.
It's crazy that you were thinking of like starting your own label from back home in Nigeria. Like, what was that as a teen, right?
Yeah. I was like 15, 16. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Like, also, yeah, if you don't mind, I want to go back a bit, yeah. So obviously, like you said, yeah, your parents are from the Caribbean, but proper, like, they sound like they're pro-black, Pan-Africanists.
Pan-Africanist, yeah.
Right then, right? So what made them, I guess, kind of send you to boarding school in Nigeria, though? Like, was there links already established there? Or, like, why Nigeria and not maybe Ghana or another African
I knew you
country?
say Ghana.
So, like, at the time, you know, and I've never really spoken about my father because we don't have a, you know, relationship, essentially. But at the time, my father was doing a lot of, basically his whole kind of businesses and everything he was doing was in Nigeria. And
Okay.
what we understood was our roots were heavily in Nigeria. So I had family in Nigeria.
Okay.
Like I had part Nigerian and part Trini
Cousins and stuff.
Cousins and
Yeah.
stuff,
Okay.
which was crazy, and they were very unique in Nigeria. Do you understand? So it was like it was yeah. I mean, that took me over there because I did have family out there, and also my dad at the time was doing a lot of. Do you know what I mean? He was pretty much in Nigeria majority of the time. Like we saw him a couple of times in the UK. Like just he was going between Trinidad and Nigeria.
Okay.
You know, consistently. That was where it was at, right? And I went to a really good school here in the UK, called Cardinal Vaughan. And unfortunately, I got kicked out 2 weeks before my GCSEs.
No way.
no.
Yeah. And being expelled from a school like Cardinal Vaughan, it's like your whole world falls apart because it's such a prestigious school, right? That you now labelled like as like that's the worst.
Like you're,
Like you're
It was really bad.
but I weren't bad. I was emotional. I was misunderstood. I was caring for my mother from when I was 12 years old. You know, and you know, it's one of them things that back in the day. It's funny because it makes me laugh how people can just run their mouth today. Because back in the day,
Don't tell me with a good time.
back in the day, you couldn't just it makes me laugh because back in the day you can't just run your mouth like
consequences.
anyhow. Do you
Yeah.
understand?
Yeah.
But back then, you know, if someone says, you know, cusses your mum or this and that or whatever else, I would have a very emotional reaction.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I'd have a very
Especially because
emotional reaction.
you know what you're dealing with at home and everything there.
You know what you're dealing with at home. It's my Achilles heel. Do you know what I mean? And I just like
Couldn't having it.
situation. Yeah, I won't have it. Situations happen, but in this case, I never ever spoken about this before. But
You're gonna say love exclusives. I love this.
yeah, I'll give you bare exclusives.
Love it.
But the reason why I got kicked out of school was
Yeah.
because there was a teacher who basically had essentially attacked me, and I had defended myself.
As in physically.
Yeah, he pushed me. He pushed me. Yeah, he pushed me.
Wow.
And I stood up and defended myself.
Yeah.
And at the time it was a whole load of commotion. Everybody was like, "Yo, Oritsé, you know what I mean?
Find a teacher
Find a
and
teacher. This is going crazy. Everyone's going crazy." And then the deputy head pulled me into his room, and I was like, "Sir, like, I didn't even do anything. Like, I knocked on the staff room door because I was giving my homework in. Do you know what I'm saying? My case study in, my coursework in.
Yeah.
And he just opened the door and just shouted, "Leave me alone," and just pushed me, and I just went flying back. Like, and then I was scared and defended
Yeah.
myself. Like, do you understand? And he's like shaking his head, going, "I hear you, I hear you, I hear you." Next thing I know, they're saying that
You gotta go.
I gotta go.
Did they fire the teacher?
No, they weren't listening to none of that. But check this now. After obviously I succeeded in music and whatever else.
If you tell Oritsé, if you tell me, they try to talk about Oritsé, he used to go here.
Yep.
Trust me. So they were doing like this big memorial service thing, right? And then they said, "Yo, we want Oritsé. Who knows?"
do what?
To listen. So I already felt like really hard done by. Do you understand?
And you were?
As I were. I came back to the school.
Oh, you went back?
I came back to have a meeting with the headmaster.
Okay.
Because it was a different headmaster. I knew the teacher because he at the time, but he
Yeah.
went to be a headmaster. He got promoted to be a headmaster. I sat down with him and I said to him, "Look, the reason why I've come here today is because, to be honest with you, there's some things that happened that really affected me as a kid, and you really kind of plastered me and painted me to be
As a villain.
like a bad kid. Like, and when I wasn't, like I was, and when we had the conversation, you know what he said to me? This teacher was known for having this kind of character trait, whereby this was not the first time he had done this. He had done this before, a few times before, and that as a school, as an establishment, they apologized to me now, and they should have never expelled me from the school.
It was a public apology.
Now, what does this do for me now?
Exactly.
And
does it
furthermore,
do
what do
for
you
me
mean
now?
this teacher has outbursts? This is what we're talking about if you're in a position of power and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this has been having outbursts all this time. So you knew that it was on record. You are aware of that.
Yeah.
Kicked me out, turned my life upside down and whatnot. And then you're telling me now you apologize as an institution.
Yeah, and do you know what's so sad about
Please
it?
tell
as
me
well?
you didn't go there. Did you-
No,
did you?
I didn't do no more. When they said, and then they said, "Oh, can you do the memorial service and sing?"
Hell
I said,
no.
"Hell no."
I got
What?
one note for y'all.
Do you know what I'm saying? So it was crazy because
That's sad, you know.
yeah, it's sad. And in that school, I'll be honest with you, like, the ethnic minority numbers.
That was my next question, you know.
Oh, gone.
No, I'm saying that was my next question. You had to know the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking like 5% of ethnic minority can get into that school.
Wow.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So it was only a small, number of us, that were black and brown. You know what I mean? Black and Asian. Do you know what I mean? Getting into that school. That's why if you got into that school as a black or an Asian person, young boy,
Yeah.
it was like raw, like
No, you broke barriers.
you
boy.
broke barriers. You got
Yeah.
into this elite establishment.
And if you get kicked out?
And then to get kicked out,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. And then check this. So I got expelled from that school. Then I felt like there was nothing more left for me in the UK. I just felt misunderstood. I
Yeah.
didn't feel, as a young black boy, I didn't feel like there was anywhere for me to go or turn, or I didn't feel comfortable. So I had asked my family whether I could go to Nigeria and finish my schooling there.
Okay.
You know, usually who was the last guest I got and got shipped?
Gigi.
There we go.
Somebody got
This is a
Yeah, I never
this
got
is
shipped.
another
Yo,
side of it.
Yeah, because everyone goes, "Oh yeah, your
different side of it.
parents sent you
No.
sent you to Nigeria." No,
I asked to go
I
actually.
asked to go. I asked to go. So I asked to go. My first school, it was run by called Lekki British. It was run by at the time a white South African racist, right? And so I had.
Excuse me, please.
So,
Yeah, I'm
No,
just telling
when did
the
we come on
viewers.
him?
so,
I'm just telling the viewers.
Okay.
I've been anyway.
So I had issues that I stood up
So
again for the
annoying.
kids there, because with me, the thing about me was I was very much I would stand up, in the face of injustice.
Yeah.
I can't handle it.
Yeah.
Like I just can't handle
You
it.
can't just. I'm not gonna ignore this. Yeah.
I can't listen. So like myself and my wife, we talk about this all the time,
Yeah.
because I can't hold my mouth. Do you understand? Sometimes, or if I hold my mouth, you're gonna feel the energy from me.
Yeah.
I'm boiling.
Do you understand? You're gonna feel the energy from
Yeah.
me that Oritsé is not with this. He's not feeling this.
Yeah.
You understand? So, I kind of stood up and I wasn't happy, and then I didn't create a good first impression in that school, so I had to bounce from that school.
Fair.
And then I remember like being in the car with some of my family members driving. We were just going through Lagos, and I saw a newspaper and I saw an advert for BIS, British International School, Victoria Island, and in the advert it spoke about like how they're training young musicians and stuff like that. So that's what attracted me to the school.
Nice, yeah.
So I went and done an interview at the school. Then imagine 2 weeks of me being in that school, right? And they had an election for head boy, head girl, this and that, whatever else. 2 weeks from me being in that school, the kids loved me so much, the students and the parents loved me so much, and I could not believe, right, when my name came up as most voted to be head boy.
No way, that's
BIS.
it.
So imagine I could fulfill my potential as a young black man in Africa.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Your home.
My home.
Exactly.
And now I felt home.
That's beautiful.
Now I felt home. I felt like I was right where
where you were meant to be.
where I was meant to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's powerful,
Beautiful.
man.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
Very
So
powerful.
did you have like a musical background before though? Like your parents play music, maybe you learn instruments as a kid prior to all of this?
So that's a really good question. It's funny. So so my father was an aspiring kind of revolutionary soca artist.
Okay.
Like, so he really very much, wanted to be, he aspired to be a musician, but never made it. My mum was always around music and musicians. So when my mum and dad were dating, they had gone to like, Bob Marley concerts and different concerts. And my dad was very much around a lot of some of the legends, that we know today, like Stevie Wonder, Marvin Gaye. I couldn't believe all these stories my mum told me. My mum told me, that oh yeah, I because I was taking her to a Marvin Gaye tribute show, and she said to me, oh, I remember the time me and your dad were hanging out with Marvin Gaye. I was like, Mum, what do you mean?
Here I am thinking I'm about to rock your world. She's telling me,
do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Mum,
Marvin, I
what?
know, Marv.
Like, yeah, I'm like, Mum, what? Like, she goes, yeah, Oritsé. And then I found out that my godfather was Marvin Gaye's personal photographer in the UK.
Oh, wow.
What? And he's got pictures of Marvin and his family, that no one has even seen.
Yeah.
Even dressed in traditional Nigerian attire. Because Marvin was another Pan-Africanist that really wanted to understand his roots. And I guess because my family had done so much work in, really, allowing, going back to their roots and bringing the culture to the forefront, some of these musicians that were around my family, believe it or not, were also inspired by that. And I think it's a beautiful thing. So my mom, loved music. She loved Tracy Chapman. Like, that's one of her favorite artists. Like, you understand? Bob Marley, 100%, of course, and so yeah, she was. I said, Mom, so when I was in the womb, like, you were around all this music, because I don't understand, like, where this passion for music has come from, really, So and my music journey's been tough one. I never was able to sing before. I didn't come out of the womb being able to sing. Like, I didn't have a great voice. Like, I've had to work at my voice. Like, I've been a student of music forever. Like, wanting to be greater, wanting to be better, listening to the artists that inspire me and trying to work out the DNA in the music, in the records. Like, do you understand? Like, being obsessed by that. I mean, I would be literally, I'd play 10 seconds into a song and then rewind and then try and replicate it and rewind for hours until I understood why each part of the song, made me feel the way it did, which is the reason why I was attracted so much to neo soul in particular, because it just had a groove for me that was just different. Like, it had, the R&B and the soulful element, but it had that kind of like conscious hip hop element to it, So, like the sounds of like Jay Dilla and the Roots, and stuff like that. So I was very much buried in that, musically. But then because I was growing up in this African Caribbean household, I was privy to Fela Kuti, and Bob Marley and, all these different other musicians and artists. So you have to understand that for me, when I say like the Afro Island sounds, which I've coined for myself, it's just a true reflection of who I am and how I've grown up.
Yeah. You can hear it. I love it.
I want to ask you about obviously being a solo artist. You mentioned before about the good side to it, basically, right?
Yeah.
But when you first realized, okay, cool, I'm going to be a solo artist, was it difficult? Because the reason why I'm asking it is because I remember listening to Busta Rhymes in an interview talking about when he was part of Leaders of New School. Obviously, he was kind of the main person in the group, but he still shared each song with other people.
Yeah.
But then when he went solo, it's like, wait a minute, I got to write the bars for the whole
You
album.
got to fill up all
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Exactly, myself.
Yeah.
Like, what was that for you? What was that like for you?
So I love being in a group. Like I still love, when I'm able to go out with a group,
Like
see the
link up.
fans and
Yeah.
whatever, and link up. Do you know what I mean? So I actually never wanted to not be in the group anymore. Do you know what I mean? I wanted to be in the group until the wheels fell off. I wasn't actually thinking about anything solo whilst I was in the group because I guess everything was moving so fast
Yeah.
that, and success feels good. Like real talk. Like success feels good. Like, do you know what I'm saying? And although I guess musically, inside of me, there was a side that had never kind of been expressed.
Yeah.
I was just enjoying being in the group. And because like I looked after so many members of my family, including my mum, like, it was important, to make sure that I could keep looking after my
Yeah.
family. Do you know what I'm saying? And keep the roof over everyone's heads. Like it's no joke for me. You understand?
Yeah.
It's not just me that's looking after my ones.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I'm responsible for a lot of people, especially at that time, because my younger siblings and stuff like that were going through schooling and and everything else. So was it pressure? Yeah, I guess there's an element of pressure. But I just wanted to just keep it going. You understand?
Yeah.
And especially because I put the group together. When you've created
That's your
something,
baby, man.
that's what I'm saying. It's your baby. You want to see it grow and flourish and
How long did it take you to put the group together once you started?
So I put the group together in 2007. So it was actually fairly quite quick. I think it was a couple of months.
Oh, wow.
What year did you go on X Factor?
2008.
Also, just the following year.
Yeah.
That's lit.
How long did X Factor been running for by then?
How long has it been running for?
Yeah.
By
Years,
then, it was years. I mean, that was
Years.
like the biggest show in the country.
It was Pop Idol first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like.
Is that like are you looking at X Factor like a viable vessel for that for success, or is it
At the
random
time,
stick
it
up,
was.
like, but even to get on though, the process, like, obviously you don't doubt you're gonna get on. You believe your ability in it.
No. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about X Factor in the beginning. I mean, I was working for a record shop called Deal Real Records as an intern back then, whilst being in uni, right? And Deal Real, was for me, I was there hoping that they might give me an opportunity.
Oh, I was gonna
'cause
give you a deal.
Yeah.
You in the, okay.
It was a record shop, but they had a record label side. So it was a record shop that used to basically house a lot of records, soulful records, hip hop records. It was mainly a hip hop shop, right? And it was off Carnaby Street. So it was like the only record shop that had, hip hop music
Yeah.
in central London at the time. So
Yeah.
it was crazy, like, do you know what I'm saying? And they used to have live nights, like, and open mics every Friday. I mean,
Okay.
everyone passed through there from Amy Winehouse to John Legend to Black Eyed Peas to Kanye West to, I mean, you name it, man. Like, everyone passed through there, man. It was crazy. Do you understand? And so I was hoping that the group that I was putting together would
get a chance.
would get a chance. You know what I mean? Or we would do it the kind of organic, kind of natural way.
Yeah.
But, after every door shut in front of us, we were kind of left with what other options are there left?
Yeah.
And the last option there was the obvious, which was the TV show. And we had actually missed the registration date.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But what happened was one of the guy who I reached out to, who introduced me to one of the members, he auditions solo every year for the show. So we spoke to him and basically we took his form. He gave us his form.
Oh, wow.
And we basically forged it into a group form and stood in the line, just rocked up to
The falsified form.
rocked up to the auditions and hoped that no one noticed. And the people outside, the scouts, were looking at us and looking at the form going, Okay, go and audition.
Oh my, that's so crazy. And then you end up coming second.
Crazy, right? Out of 385,000 auditionees.
Crazy.
That's lit, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Wild.
actually so lit.
What's that whole X Factor experience like though?
So for me, it was the training that I needed for the pop world.
Okay.
Because I already was like, you know, this is like not in.
It's not your world.
It's not my world.
Yeah.
I'm not in the most comfortable space. I never went to stage school. I never had any kind of like drama, like musical.
Like an academy, like
academy
like
training.
a Brit school kind of thing. You never had that exposure.
I never had none of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just a kid at home. Do you know what I mean? That loved to sing and write songs.
How intense is it? Say like from day to day, like how many hours a
It's
day?
intense. No, it's intense. There's no lie. It's intense, man. Like, do you understand? Like it's the biggest competition in the country.
Say like
big
once,
deal.
like on your average day,
24/7, bro.
Oh, you're just training. You're in the studio.
It's
You're
24/7 because you're training, but then you're having to learn songs. Then you're having to prepare for the live shows.
You got to perform the songs.
You have to perform the songs. You have to, when you're in a group, you got to do your different vocal parts. Like it's, you know what I mean. You got to make sure your harmony's on point. Like, do you know what I mean? You know, so it's you know, that's your life. Like at that particular time, it's your life. It's your whole life. You know, which was hard for me because obviously,
Your
like
mum and stuff as
my
well,
mum
isn't it?
being ill and then leaving the responsibility of the caring
Oh, to your brother.
onto my younger brother, my younger sister, was you know was very
hard,
tough.
yeah.
It was very, very tough to have to, you know, have them take over in that type of way.
How did you deal with the fame? Like obviously with over the years, there's been a lot of people that have come out and spoken about X Factor and stuff like that. Like especially if you're black. Like we've heard Alexandra Burke talk about it. We've heard Misha B talk about it, about their experiences being black and in that show. But recently, with obviously Liam Payne's passing, there's been a lot of people that have done X Factor. I think Rebecca Ferguson recently I saw, I think last week as well. There's been so many contestants who have talked about the like taking care, the care of artists, of because you guys are, for lack of a better word, you're just normal people.
Yeah,
and then you're thrown into this show that literally the whole country watches, and then you become famous off that, and it's just how much care is given in this situation. Obviously, in the age we're in now, there's a lot of conversations about mental health and all that kind of stuff. So you have even shows like Love Island, making sure that there's psychologists there and therapists there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But back then, what was that like? Like, how did you deal with fame, especially when you had stuff going on at home? Did you tell them that as well? Like, what was that like for you?
I got to big up the X Factor because, in all honesty, like they identified my situation at home, and the reason why they did was because they had seen my mum come into some of the auditions on crutches.
Okay.
So they wanted to understand like
what's going on.
What's going on. So they actually pulled me aside separate from the group and just said, yo, Oritsé, so like obviously, you know, we've seen, you know, your mum struggling to come to some of the auditions or some of the process, you know, what's going on?
Yeah.
And then I told them that my mum's got multiple sclerosis.
Yeah.
I've been a young carer for her since I was 12. And my brother and sister are at home, and I've left the responsibility to
them.
Yeah. And you know, they really were very supportive and saying, look, you know, we acknowledge what you're going through, and please, if there's anything you need or need to talk to anyone, just let us know. So
that's really good, you know.
everyone's got different experiences,
Absolutely.
but that was my experience.
That's really
Did they
good.
actually supply any assistance or just acknowledge it?
Did you ask though?
No, I didn't ask. Because I actually didn't want it to become a thing, because what I didn't want was
For that to be, yeah.
to be a sub story. I wanted to
Yeah.
get on. I wanted to get through on the merit
But
of my
on your own
talent.
merit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I find that, sorry, go on.
I was just saying, X Factor love a good sub story though. That would have.
That's what I was gonna say. They love a good stuff, so that's really good.
Yeah.
I feel like it's nice that you thought that ahead.
Yeah.
About
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, and also, you know, it's like, do you want to rope your family into being, you know what I mean, in the screen so much, you
Because
know,
of this, yeah.
because I don't know, it's, you know, it's real life what's happening to us. It's not a TV.
Exactly. It's not tea. It's not just.
It's not a show. Like,
Yeah.
my mum's not well. Like, do you know what I mean? And my desperation for her to be better, like, is evident.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to deal with. Like,
Yeah.
I go to sleep thinking about it. I wake up thinking about it.
That's your reality,
It's
man.
that's my reality.
Yeah. But you got a new single.
Yeah,
People
yeah,
dancing,
yeah.
man. Bella Smada as well. I love Bella Smada.
Yeah, man. Big up
Love
Bella,
him.
man. Big up.
But yes,
AO.
you got a new single called Sober.
Yeah, man.
Can you tell us how that came to be? And Sober, like why that name?
I know go be sober. I know go.
So, yeah, black people love enjoyment, you know.
So myself and AO, we linked up. We had a conversation over social media. Just a genuine appreciation for each other's talent and art.
Yeah.
And AO was like, "Yo, Oritsé, man, like you got something, man. Like I've been seeing what you've been doing on TikTok and the covers you've been flipping and turning it into your own vibe and swag. And yo, there's something about you that, do you know what I mean? I feel like you got something." And it was like, "Yo, pull up to the studio and let's make some records." And I said, "Cool, dope." I said, "Where's your studio?" He said, "Derby." I said, "What?"
Even I'm like,
I
what?
said, "Come again?" He said, "Derby." He goes, "Listen, I could come to London and we could do a session, or you come to Derby. And
Get away, actually. Yeah.
and we can do a whole camp just for you and your music." So
Well.
I said, "Okay, say no more." So, myself and my wife, we went to Derby,
Nice.
stayed locally, and every single day, pulled up to AO studio, and we just had a vibe and made records.
Yeah.
AO's like one of the most talented brothers I've ever met in my entire life. That guy's crazy with it.
He's dope. He's dope still.
Yeah, he's crazy with it. And he just, what it was that what I love about AO was that he just gave me a space to be myself authentically. And he understood and he got me just the chemistry that we got is, it's undeniable musically, you understand? Like the vibe, we're on the same kind of frequency.
Yeah.
I like AO because he's starving in the sense of like he's like a proper musician.
Yeah.
Like, like the journey, like the process of what it takes to go through to make it. He lives it.
He does, bro.
He lives it all the time. Like, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, you
does.
see, like he puts in work,
Bruh. AO beats, bruh.
Yeah, no, he does.
That
Still.
guy's no games, man. You know what I mean? So like, but me myself as well, day to day, 24/7, I'm living it as a real musician. A lot of people go, "Yo, Oritsé, you could just go and do a presenting job or go and do this or go and do that." I'm like, you think I've come this far, right?
Yeah.
To now come out of music. Like, what is people's mentality? It's like, it's crazy. They feel like sometimes people go, "Oh, that guy's or that person is one thing," and they can't see them as anything.
in a box.
Yeah, put them in a box. But I'm growing. I'm maturing.
Yeah.
I'm learning more and more about myself. I'm going back to my roots and really just kind of wanting to be one with my culture. And I desperately, I've wanted that for forever. Well, it's always, my culture's always with
It's always
me.
been to you, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not like, but
to express it, though.
express
Yeah.
it is a whole different thing. So I was getting that through flipping covers and just kind of flexing. You understand? And then myself and AO basically, to be honest with you, for the whole camp, we were just on a vibe, man. Like we were just vibing. Like music was just like, it was just energy. It was just energy and enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? Like
That's a great recipe.
Like Joe said, it was just pure energy and vibes. Like I don't even know if we like even
Actually, penned
anything down because it was kind of like a cipher with me and AO. Like it was like just on the mic. You know what I mean? Just going back and forth with different. Do you know what I mean, lines and ideas and so the energy was just so dope, man.
Yeah.
So like I love AO, man. Like that's my brother for life.
Big up
and big up AO Beats, man. And so we when we had done Sober, we had leaked some of it on IG stories and stuff like that, and showing ourselves in the studio just going crazy on a vibe. And then it started to circulate around the Afrobeat community. So a lot of people started reaching out, going, "Yo, what is that?
What's going on here? And how can I?
What's that vibe that you lot are on?" And then a few, obviously, people that are connected between us and actually Bella Shmurda, they sent the record to Bella, and Bella's team became aware of the tune. Bella was like, "Yo, this is crazy," and obviously there was a few Afrobeat artists that could have been on the record, but when Bella like dropped his verse on the record,
Bella's perfect for it. Bella's perfect
I said, I said to AO, "Yo, bro, like this record needs to come out like yesterday."
Bella's perfect for it. Oh, that's lit, man.
Yeah, man. So that's how Sober came about. You know, we got plenty more records in the locker,
Sick.
man. We're locked and loaded, no lie.
Sick.
And it just felt like the timing for Sober it just felt good. Like it felt like the most natural next record for me after the first record that I dropped early in the year called Language. Yeah.
What do you feel like what do you want from your music career as a solo artist? This time round.
That's a very, very good question. I feel like I envision being able to do a show one day whereby it's me on stage and with a family of, you know, music lovers and doing what I always dreamed of doing that inspired me about my musical heroes.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to be like my heroes. And if I can be even 0.5% of what my heroes meant to me and how they affected me musically, inspired me musically for other people, then I would be beyond satisfied.
Yeah.
I don't have any expectations. I don't know where this journey's gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm kind of, in a way, walking blind.
I feel like it's nicer because you're enjoying it though.
I'm just having fun, man.
You're having a great time. And it
I'm
shows.
having fun. I'm having
That's
fun.
lit.
I'm enjoying every moment.
That's
and what
good.
I'm loving the look on certain people's faces when they go, yo, I didn't realize Oritsé Williams could flex like that. Like, you understand? Like, I love that shit.
Yeah,
because
that's good.
for me, it's like, it's okay, cool. Yeah, you put me in a box.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
underestimated me. I'm doing what's unexpected, but what's unexpected for you is so natural for me.
Ooh, love that. That's gonna be an Instagram caption, chat. I'll credit you. I love that. So what can people expect? Obviously, you've got the single.
Yeah.
Do you feel actually, you know, as an artist, is it annoying when people are like, oh, someone's album going to come out? Or you plan an album? Like,
I get that all the time. I get like, yo, when's the album coming out? When are you doing a solo tour? When are you doing this? When are you doing that?
just when we're just demand.
Demand. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying myself. There's been some conversations about me collaborating with an Afrobeat artist that's on tour at the moment and being part of that tour. But I'm not going to say too much. And
We do the math. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of waiting for that to be confirmed before I say anything more.
Sick.
Yeah, I feel like just kind of immersing myself within the culture and just being part of big vibes right now is what I want to do. I'm planning to go to Nigeria over the next few months and shoot the video with Bella and myself and Ayo.
Beautiful.
There's also there's a few other records that I've been working on with Ayo and also a producer called Michelangelo and big up my logo because he's
Big up. My logo can sing.
and Most Pen.
Oh.
Most Pen is undefeated.
My logo can listen.
Most Pen is never on vacation.
Big up my logo. Big up my logo.
So yeah, I've been working a lot with Mo. Like that's my brother. Like,
Sick.
and you know what's great is that the people that I'm working with, it's like family. You know, like they're family to me.
That's
now.
beautiful.
It's not.
That's what you need, man. That's great
what you
energy.
need. So back in the day when I was kind of, you know, in the kind of music world, it very much felt, how can I say, corporate.
It just felt like work.
It felt like work.
Yeah.
Whereas it just feels now like I'm just, you know, getting together with my boys. Do you know what I mean?
And we're making magic, man.
And we're just making music.
Yeah.
Eating suya. Do you understand? Or
And that is needed.
Do you know what I mean? Or eating jerk. You understand? And just having fun making music.
Yeah.
So that's the space I'm in right now. I'm having a great time. I'm enjoying myself.
That's good.
And to be honest with you, like I feel like you say, you know, you can see it. It's written all over me. A lot of people say, Oritsé, man, you just look so happy.
No, but listen.
And I am.
It's beautiful. It's really like you're a living embodiment of like, you know, sometimes people can say that they're feeling this way, but the way their energy is, the way they're speaking and stuff, you don't see it. It almost feels as though they're trying to convince themselves. Yeah. But you like without you saying how you're feeling, I can see it. Yeah. And that's really, really good.
Well, I've been through enough hard times.
Yeah.
To know what good times feel like. And to embrace that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's beautiful.
So my life is very much, I've been on a crazy journey. Lots of highs, lots of lows.
Yeah.
Everything in between and on the outside of those things.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I really embrace the good times when they're here. Like, you know, I very much believe in energy. I very much believe in guardian angels. I very much believe that life is here to teach us
Amen to
lessons,
that.
and that we're all on our own individual journeys.
Word.
Yeah.
And whatever lessons we face are relevant to us. Like I said to Mo, like when I was speaking to Mo Logo, we're in the studio last week, myself and Mo and Michelangelo, and we were actually finishing a record that myself and Ayo had started, which is crazy. So it's amazing, right? And Mo said to me something, and this particular song is very, very deep, very, very emotional, and it's me really kind of exposing a lot of my pain, being, you know, you're gonna really get to feel my vulnerability.
Yeah.
Ayo also spits his life story in his bars on the record. And Mo said to me, yo, Oritsé, I know this is gonna be very, very hard to hear this, but I feel like you were meant to go through everything you've been through in order for you to get to this point today. And I said to Mo, yeah, but I don't want to suffer no more. Like, should we always have to suffer to create great art? Like, but you know, in my case, my life is my life, and I felt like what Mo said was very profound. And because he's really got to know me in a much deeper way, I think he really kind of he could really, from a kind of objective and also from an outside perspective, looking in, see that all of this is meant to be for us to be at the place we are now, and for me to be where I am now. But yeah, I'm cool with the suffering, man. I don't know more adversity, man.
No more suffering, please. Life is for the living,
I
child.
just want good times, man. Please.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Who's an artist that you, an Afrobeat artist that you'd want to work with? I feel like I can see there's someone that's on like the same vibe as you, that I feel like you guys would make great music together.
For real?
Davido. I think you and Davido, on a song will be absolutely amazing, because your energy is kind of the same, like very just happy to be here, having a good time, enjoyment. That'd be lit.
Well, you know that's so funny, man. Because myself and Davido, we know each other. Like, and you know, we went to the same school, British International School,
nice.
and he was my school son.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
Full circle moment.
Yeah. So he was
that's beautiful.
He was my school son, and
What does that mean?
Basically, you know, I had a feeling you wouldn't know. I was actually thinking about my school mothers the other day, because I went to school in Nigeria, and I was
what school
randomly
did you go to?
Rainbow College.
I know Rainbow.
Yeah, I went to Rainbow College.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So basically,
Wow.
school mother's like, you know, like it's like an older that looks out for you, basically. So it's like we call like school mother, school father, school son, school daughter, that kind of stuff.
Oh, so you looked
I had 3.
you looked out for Davido.
Yeah. I looked up for Davido.
So you sunned him.
Okay, don't be silly.
No. He
Please.
Listen,
Sorry.
he's
Forget
a
what I
lot, he's a
said.
lot younger than me. 'Cause you
Forget what I
can think
said.
he was in the first year of his school. I mean, I've known Davido since he was 10 years old, 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
And at the time I was 16. So
Oh,
you know
yeah.
that's at that age there's a big gap.
Yeah,
Do
you
know
need
what
an
I mean?
older man.
When-
You need
Do you know what I'm saying?
a school father, a school mother.
And let me tell you something. That boy put me through stress. like I was telling you, like it's crazy. Like it's so funny. Like one of my school sons, one of the young boys from my school in Nigeria, messaged me on Instagram yesterday.
Oh.
A kid called Tabena, and he messaged me on IG, and he goes, with all the stress that we will put you through in Niger, right? Yeah, at least you got good practice for now when your son is here.
He said, that's my good deed done.
I said, that's my good deed done. Yeah, I said, you lot put me through pressure
Listen,
and
yeah,
stress.
man.
Yeah, so Davido, like, you know, and he, you know, I remember when he turned to me and said, "Look, I wanna do music like you, like that thing." And I said, you know, I'm here to back you all the way. You know, I'm here to back you all the way. And obviously, like,
That's so wholesome.
it's amazing to see him, you know, go to the top of the mountain as he is today. And we actually got in the studio together.
Wonderful.
So,
What I like to hear.
Yeah,
BG gang, you hear that?
Yeah. We did
Love it.
We did a few records, but I feel like to be honest, after I seen the records he did with Chris Brown, I said, "Nah, we just come back again."
Get back in there.
I said, nah. I said that records are too cold. I said, nah, bro. If I'm gonna collab with
Circle
you,
back.
if we're gonna do something, and you know what would be beautiful? Because I think to myself, because of our history, it would be beautiful to do something that's just
That'd be amazing, you know.
you know what I mean, to just complete that full circle moment. So
that's beautiful, man. That's so wholesome. All right, so we have 3 questions that we always ask our guests at the end of an interview. So the first one is, tell us something people are usually surprised to learn about you. You said a lot today, Dan.
Loads, innit?
Listen.
Yeah, loads.
I mean, really, am I answering that question after this
Just
interview?
after the whole interview, can you imagine?
Really?
Just an extra random fact.
You want me to give you extra?
Yes, please.
Listen, I've given
We're
you
greedy over
more
here.
exclusives
I know.
than anybody in my entire life.
Honestly, I know.
Yeah, so what
But I
more
love
you-
that though.
I just feel
feel
comfortable.
family
Do you know
now.
what it is? It's family. I felt comfortable here. I'll be honest
Good.
with you. And you guys have made me feel comfortable.
Oh, good.
And relaxed.
Good.
And it just feels like linking up, you know, with my people.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
And so I felt comfortable. I don't need to wait for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This or that or this big moment. Nah,
Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'm a man of energy and vibes.
Beautiful.
So I felt the vibe, and that's why I felt comfortable.
We
and thank
appreciate
you.
it. We don't
Yeah,
take it for
man.
granted when people share stuff with us. So.
Yeah. No.
We
This-
appreciate
you
it.
guys are legit, man, and I love what you're doing.
Thank
you. Know,
you.
you should be very, very incredibly proud because
Thank you.
you know there's not a lot of people in this world
Mm-hmm.
that you know are creating platforms that have so much depth.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, yeah, it's important to get the clickbaits and
Yeah.
get people engaged and all this kind of stuff. But what you guys have is a pure essence. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? A certain energy that is wholesome, but also, you know, you can mix it up.
Yeah.
So I love the versatility that you guys have.
Oh, thank
so big up
you.
for that,
Appreciate
man.
that, man.
I didn't know you made the group. Do you resent people that think Marvin's the leader?
No,
You
man.
did say we give you versatility, so
You kind of look a little like Marv.
I see him actually
no.
go to he does music concerts, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Go to them events and
Oh,
that.
dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, nah, man. Listen, I love the fact that you know the group's done what it's done
Yeah.
and that it's
Iconic, man.
It's impacted
Iconic.
people.
You still perform with them?
Yeah. So we just did a tour. So like I said, whenever we, you know, what I mean, whenever we
when the
decide
spirit
to,
leads.
when the spirit
When the
leads.
spirit leads,
Oh, of
child.
course they do, because
go on
man
stage.
dropped when they done a backflip, innit?
Oh,
Okay, well,
there you
well,
go.
to be fair,
That was recent.
yeah, that
innit?
was recent. I think that was last year, wasn't it?
Don't ask me no more questions. I know you can see them eyes. I can see them eyes. I can see them eyes. You know what?
Okay, no. Last one.
trying to get his
What
back.
was it? What did you think? What was you-
Come on, man.
Okay, though.
When we
Okay, no,
talk-
but I'm so sorry because I'm only going to tap into his foolishness.
Oh, come on now.
No, but what do you do when you're performing? Because obviously I've seen him having with Destiny's Child here.
Well, with Michelle.
And Kelly and Beyonce were like, "Oh." But to be fair, though, you can't actually stop singing.
Yeah, for real.
You can't. You know what I mean? Because it's a whole thing to then start the track back, get the DJ to stop. So really, and truly, to be fair, help yourself.
The show must go on.
Amen
Yeah,
to that.
sure.
That is
Yeah.
that is a word.
So after Oritsé just praised us, he will be performing at the live show.
Amen to that.
Into that.
He said, "I love you."
Let's
I want
go.
that.
Come on, no, play. No, of course, 100%. We'll pull up, man.
Amen.
Yeah, we'll pull up.
So you did not tell us something surprising about you. Sounds like a hobby or something. What's a random hobby you have?
Surprising.
Or...
It don't have to be deep.
It doesn't have to be
It
deep.
could be trivial.
Just
It could be trivial.
anything that
Oh,
people
okay,
wouldn't
You have a
ex-
guilty pleasure.
I'm a martial
Yeah.
artist.
I'm serious.
Just shut the front door.
Yeah.
Time or hole.
Yeah. Martial artist.
What's your discipline?
Muay Thai boxing.
Ah,
Ah.
shit, elbows and knees, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Serious.
let me tell you something.
Knees.
Let me tell you something. So the other podcast I was on was Pound Sterling with Pound Sterling and the winners, right? Myself and Sterling, yeah, went to the gym last week,
Yeah.
because he was like, yo, I do martial arts too, and then we know everyone that we know in the martial arts community is connected. So I was like, right, okay, we might as well train together. Listen, that brother can fight. Don't play with Sterling.
You could tell Pan can fight though.
Yeah.
Because he's just his demeanor is very.
Bro, he's like a monk. He's like a monk.
Yeah, you could tell.
Bro, don't play with Sterling, bro. So, bro, I'm letting you lot know
Mr. PSA,
because I've done
yo.
martial arts for a long time. I've done Muay Thai for a long time, and like obviously people wouldn't know that, so they're like, "Yo, you know, look at it. Why Oritsé is saying who
Yeah.
can fight, and who can't fight?" But I'm telling you, from a martial artist, Pound
That man-
Sterling is no joke. Literally, like. I'll be honest with you. Like we were doing some what you call clinch sparring. The guy dropped me 6 times.
Serious.
Fair.
And
we'll do
each
it.
time I was like frustrated. I was like I was so frustrated, and he was just like, like
So
a
calm.
sensei,
Yeah.
calm. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
And
Mr.
you're
Miyagi.
fighting for your life.
And I'm fighting for my life. I'm getting back up, and I'm going at him again. Right,
Yeah.
and he's just like Neo in the Matrix, boom, like, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, I couldn't even believe it. But honestly, like, I love Sterling, man. He's like a big brother as well,
Yeah,
man. Do you know what I'm
that's it.
saying? But yeah, martial arts, that's my thing, man.
Yes. Our second question: what is your biggest life lesson? So where do I start?
Where do I start with that? There's a lot of things that are quite fresh right now that I'm feeling to say. I want to say certain things, but in a not everybody that you begin with will be with you to the end. Sometimes relationships have seasons.
Yeah,
And when I'm talking about relationships, I'm talking about friendships.
like all the ships.
All the ships, right? And, it's very, very, very important to let go
Yeah,
when the energy no longer fits.
what?
And letting go is the hardest thing to do, because
Yeah.
when you have history with somebody or certain people, you feel like, we've got history, like it's us to the end. Do you know what I mean? But sometimes it's not good for you. And sometimes it can bring issues into your life that if you had just surrendered to the energy and just let go, you wouldn't have found yourself in certain circumstances. And my issue is always that I've held on too long. I've always wanted to honor relationships, honor friendships, and not just surrender to what God is telling me and life is telling me at that particular time, which is you had a great time to this point.
This is it now, though.
But
yeah.
this is it. It's time to kind of go in different directions, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's totally okay. As far as I'm concerned, the only person in this world that I honor to the point of will do everything it takes to be with that individual for life is my wife.
Beautiful.
Right? Because I just know that I know, the universe and God has put us together for a certain reason. We've both been through different kinds of pain, and then we've also shared the same pain.
Yeah.
Something that I haven't spoken about, but I've touched on a bit before, is that we had 2 miscarriages before this beautiful
Rainbow
blessing.
baby. Yeah.
And so we've shared pain, we've dealt with pain individually, and we've grown together stronger. It hasn't,
beautiful,
do you know what I mean? It
Hasn't broken you.
hasn't broken us. So I know in my heart of hearts that I found my soulmate, my queen. And as far as I'm concerned, I will never leave her side. I will fight for her. I will honor her. I will worship her.
Ooh,
You
it's a
understand?
vow, honey.
Right then.
That's a vow. That's beautiful,
I'm telling
man.
you straight, man. And I just feel like, and this is me just talking to the young men out there, especially the young black men. Like, listen, don't. Love is cool, man. Don't give up on love, man. Like, love is dope. Love is cool.
It's the best thing,
Like,
man.
respect love, honor
Yeah.
our women, respect our women. Do you know what I'm saying? Hold our women in high esteem. Like, you don't have to, like, because what I find, like, if you notice with my music, like language and sober, and I didn't actually answer your full question on sober. Like, I know go be sober.
Yeah.
Was a kind of way of saying, look, I'm so drunk in love with you. Like, I'm so intoxicated by love with you that my senses will never be the same again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even like you see my hat, oh God, behavior.
I love it.
Yeah, so
Peeped as soon as you walked in, I said, okay.
that's a lyric I created. Oh God, behavior. Right? That's a lyric I created whilst being in the studio writing with Ayo. And Oga, you know, it's like big boss.
Chief.
Chief.
Yeah.
Chief.
Oh, chief.
Big boss.
That's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, God, the
So-
top.
Oh God, the top. So it's saying that you make me feel like that way.
Yeah.
You know, oh God, behavior. When I'm
Yeah.
with you, I feel like a major.
Ooh.
Those are the lyrics to the song, guys.
That's the
Check it
lyrics.
out.
That's the lyrics to the song. You understand? That's how she makes me feel. And then if you listen to Language, you know, my first record, and you listen to the lyrics of that, you can see how this experience and how being with her, how that makes me feel.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And so I've been able to make records that aren't trashing women and going, yo, I'm a, you know what I mean? I'm gonna grind up on you. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? You know, come on, man. Like,
Love, man. Oh.
there has to be a time for everything. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's a time for that. There's a time for lust, and there's a time for love. And there's a time for all different things. But for some reason, like especially with the man, them, it's like love is like a corny thing.
Yeah.
Like why? Like why? Romance is beautiful, man.
You know, just last week I said that men aren't singing their hearts out in love anymore. Thank you, Oritsé. Love this.
Yeah, man. It's like it's like you know, you come check me, you're gonna get the wickedest grind. Do you know what I mean?
No.
But like,
Soft life,
like,
please.
But it's like listen, hold the ego down, like throw the ego out the room. Like, do you know what I mean? Love up on your woman, man. You know what I
That's
mean?
so beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Your son is so blessed. He's going to grow up in such a beautiful home. That's so lovely.
Thank you.
So we also get our guests to leave a question for the next guest.
Okay.
So you're going to answer the last guest question, then you're going to leave one for the next person.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the last guest said, and it was Gigi, she's got a podcast. It's a life story podcast.
Oh, yeah?
And it's called Grace's Journey.
Yeah, yeah.
It's actually really, really
Journeys with
sick.
Grace.
Sorry?
Journeys with Grace.
Journeys with Grace.
Yeah.
Sorry, I knew Journey and Grace was in there.
You
My
should check
bad.
it out. Like,
It's
really
really,
like
you
Oh,
like
for real?
it. It's really
Okay.
deep. Like she talks about because she lives with cancer and talks about that, and she also lived in Nigeria as
Oh,
well.
for
Like
real?
it's amazing. So it's like what you would see in a sitcom, but it's audio. So she really takes you there with everything, and she loves music as well. You love
Yeah,
it.
she was in the industry as well. Yeah.
Yeah, you really like it actually. It's called Journeys with Grace. But yeah, so she left a question for you. She didn't know it was going to be you, just left it.
Okay.
And it says, if tomorrow was your wake-up call, if tomorrow was your wake-up call, would the way you lived your last 3 months kill you or keep you alive?
No, keep me alive for sure.
All right. Damn.
Love
Keep
that.
me alive for sure. Yeah, because obviously the last 3 months has been me looking after my wife through her pregnancy.
Yeah.
And you know, her mum had actually came up to me in the kitchen about a week ago, and she said, "Oritsé, you know, I don't think there's any man that could have been better to take care of my daughter." And
That's so sweet.
me and her father now feel safe, knowing that you are here,
You're here. Yeah.
as her partner for life. And so,
So beautiful.
I mean,
So beautiful.
you know, that for me
That's everything, you know.
is everything. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
her mum don't give out
Compliments like that. She
compliments
don't
like
do
that. Trust me. You know, she would have one eyebrow raised
Listen, Auntie meant that.
at
She
the
meant
beginning.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's really beautiful, you know.
That was that is not something I was expecting to hear.
Yeah.
But it's nice to know that, you know, the passion and the commitment is being acknowledged
Yeah.
from those who love her the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate.
Love that, man.
So beautiful. And then can you please leave a question for the next guest?
Okay. Gee wee.
It could be anything.
It could be anything.
Anything you want it to be.
Let's see. If you could look back at the chapters of your life to date, what chapter would you press pause on?
That's such an interesting question. Pause as in like, so I'm thinking about the question for myself now, but like pause as in to want to stay there.
Yeah.
Okay, as in to relive that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, it's a good question. It's a good question. Thank you so much, Oritsé. So
appreciate
as we said, Oritsé's single is out now, so but it's such a vibe. Love a dancing song. As soon as the beat dropped, I said, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Here
For
to
real.
play.
Crazy.
Really lovely. Well done.
Appreciate it,
I was
man.
definitely pleasantly surprised, man.
Yeah.
For real, 100%.
really good.
Appreciate that. No, that means a lot, man.
And can you let people know what your... Actually, is the IG up there? It is, isn't it?
Yo,
No, it's
the
not.
IG up there.
Yeah, can you let them know what your socials are? And is there anything else that you want to talk about, that you want to promote? Anything that, you want people's attention to go to?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's just like, obviously right now it's Black History Month.
Yep.
But I feel like Black History, shouldn't be limited to a month.
Word.
True indeed.
And I feel like education is important in terms of educating each other, understanding our history, because what I don't like is when I look out there and I see so much negative examples, right, that are perpetuated and put in front of the media about us as Black people. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And the only way we can change that is to try and empower each other, right? And I don't mean that in a loose sense. I mean, teach each other. Let's talk about our history as Black people. Let's talk about our culture, our heritage, the things that bring us together. These are things that bring us together. If, we had focused and really think about and spent some time talking about what our forefathers and mothers have had to do for us to be here today, right? Honestly, I think as a community we would move
Differently.
so differently.
Absolutely. That's the
So
word.
I just feel like I could be here promoting myself, talking about I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I can talk about the cows come home, but let's talk about the things that matter, right? And what matters is us supporting our community and lifting each other up. That's what that matters at the end of the day.
And then the day, yep.
You understand? Because hit records come and go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, awards come and go. Like, do you know what I'm saying? The moment's nice and then it goes. Let's have some conversations that are actually going to benefit one another. Do you understand? And place some onus on that. So that's how I feel, man. That's how I feel.
love
Like,
that. I love that. And with what's mum's condition? I can never pronounce
multiple
it.
sclerosis,
Like,
MS.
so much-
MS.
Okay, MS. There's so many
Yeah.
S and C's in there. It's just
Yeah, I always
throws me
say
off.
multiple sclerosis
Yeah.
because I like to make it clear, but MS is what everyone knows it as.
Yeah, so with MS as well, you talk a lot. You're very vocal
Yeah,
about that.
yeah.
What is it that you think how people can help? I feel like sometimes with certain illnesses, unless you've experienced it personally, you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But I guess it goes back to, again, education, isn't it?
MS is difficult, man. Like, it's really, really difficult. And there's secondary and primary MS. My mum's got the worst, primary.
Okay.
I'm an ambassador for the MS Trust.
Nice.
And I do a lot of work. I've done a lot of work around talking about the condition of MS and raising awareness about MS. Unfortunately, this week, there was some medical trials that we were very hopeful for a drug that scientists had put together in order to help slow down the progression of primary MS.
Yeah.
Because there's been no medication for primary MS up to this point, really, that's helped significantly, none whatsoever. Secondary MS, yes, but not primary MS, right? And unfortunately, those trials did not work.
Oh, damn.
So it's a devastating blow, once again, on the multiple sclerosis community. But I definitely want to say to anyone that's affected by MS, listen, let's not give up hope. There are scientists all around the world that are continuing to do research in order to find ways for people that are suffering with MS to manage better.
Yeah.
As tough as it is, we need to stick together and we need to just stay faithful as much as we possibly can. And again, this is what it comes down to, talking about support and supporting one another.
Absolutely.
So I just pray. I pray for better days when it comes to this condition.
Yeah.
But until then, let's not give up hope.
Yeah.
Oritsé, thank you so much. We've learned so much about you and so much from you.
Yeah, 100%.
Thank you for coming on. We appreciate your vulnerability with us. And praying your wife has a safe and beautiful delivery.
Thank you.
And I'm sure you're looking forward to meeting your son. But yeah, should we do our last headlines?
Let's do it.
Oh, sorry.
Yo, what's poppin', everyone? It's Oritsé Williams, and I'm joined. Oh.
Yeah, you're not gonna use the.
Oh, sorry.
Read it and then.
Oh, no.
Are we live? You were live as well, innit?
Yeah, we've been live, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, do you want him to say, well, oh, you're going to...
Sorry.
Yeah, because
Listen.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically...
Run that back again.
Do it again without the phone.
Okay, cool. Go check it out for them. Cool. The phone's going down. Yes, well, go on, my people. It's Oritsé Williams here, and I joined the Day After family on the couch. Make sure you check them out. Make sure you stay locked in. This is the best podcast around. You know what it is. Let's go. Come on now. Oh, God, behavior.
Period. I know that's right. Thank you so much,
Yeah, man.
Oritsé.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's get into our last headlines for today.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Typical Trinity, man.
Oh, dear.
All right, people. So the NHS in England is to trial a superhuman artificial intelligence tool that predicts a patient's risk of disease and dying early. The new technology, known as AI ECG risk estimation, or AIR, is trained to read the results of electrocardiograms, ECG tests, which record electrical activity of the heart and are used to check for problems. It can detect problems in the structure of the heart that doctors would not be able to see and flag patients who may benefit from further monitoring, tests, or treatment. In a world first, it will initially be trialled at Imperial College Healthcare, NHS Trust, and Chelsea and Westminster Hospital, NHS Foundation Trust, before being tested in other hospitals. It's understood that hundreds of patients will be recruited in the first instance, with numbers then scaled up for further studies. Research published in the Lancet Digital Health Journal found that this particular treatment could correctly identify a patient's risk of death in 10 years. In the 10 years, after the ECG in 78% of cases. Our next headline, and a woman's been fined £1,000 for fly tipping after a council tracked her down from an addressed parcel.
They take that seriously, you know. Serious crime.
Laura Estrada of Great Western Road, Westbourne Park, was found guilty of fly tipping at Bromley Magistrates Court on October 8th. She was fined £1,000 in order to pay a victim surcharge of £440 and £423 in prosecution costs. The charges come after Bromley Council discovered a large fly tip in Biggin Hill on May 16th, with dumped rubbish scattered across the path that leads to a plot on Oaklands Lane.
I was just cheeky with that. I used to live in Biggin Hill. Biggin Hill, you can't fly tip around there. Like, it's very, very clear that you can't. She deserved. She had the day she deserved. Sorry, that's crazy.
Amongst the pile, which mostly consisted of construction waste and other household items, a cardboard box was also discovered, which was addressed to her. And this is basically how they found her. Yeah, So when she failed to respond to a legal notice from the council, which required her to provide information about her waste disposal arrangements, prosecution then followed. And the Councillor Page, who is the Executive Councillor for Public Protection and Enforcement, said, "We're tackling the menace of fly tipping."
Not a menace.
With the support of residents.
Oh, dear.
And our last headline, at the BRICS summit in Kazan, the Russian President Vladimir Putin highlighted the economic opportunities within the member countries. He proposed establishing a joint grain exchange and a BRICS investment platform. He also emphasized the need for a balanced approach to climate issues, ensuring that the climate agenda does not impede market competition. He went on to say that we suggest the creation of a new BRICS investment platform, which would serve as a robust mechanism for bolstering our national economies and providing financial support to the nations in the global south and east. The three-day BRICS summit, which included representatives from 36 countries such as China, India, the UAE, and South Africa, highlighted the shortcomings of the US-led initiatives aimed at isolating Russia due to its involvement in Ukraine. The coalition that started with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa has now grown to include Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and also Saudi Arabia. So BRICS is getting bigger and bigger, more powerful. But yeah, that's it for our headlines. Time to pay the bills.
All right, let's get into the reaction.
Welcome to the reaction, people, where I read out the sports headlines for you. Again, there's not much going on in the world, but obviously there was Champions League last night. I'll read out the results. Atalanta and Celtic drew 0-0. Brest and Bayer Leverkusen drew 1-1. Atletico Madrid got beat 3-1 by Lille, which is mad. They lost me money. Inter beat.
That's why it's mad.
They lost me money. Inter Milan beat Young Boys 1-0. Barcelona whooped Bayern 4-1. That was a good game. I watched that one. Feyenoord beat Benfica 3-1. Man City thumped Sparta Prague 5-0. Liverpool beat RP Leipzig 1-0. And the referees lost me money on that as well, because Openda had 2 goals disallowed, which is a bump. And then Dynamo Zagreb beat Red Bull Salzburg 2-0. There's a few results there, Dan, that would have messed up a few accumulators yesterday, man. Pissing man off. We got the second tier European games tonight, Europa League. I haven't got the fixtures here because my team don't do their due diligence. But let me quickly tell you.
Boy.
Huh?
This guy.
Can you imagine? Say it for 2.5 hours, you know.
So, I knew this was coming, innit? Ah, man, it's tough seeing my team in this competition because I'm not reading out these games. I'm not reading out these games.
When I've hit in your heart.
And the Lodograts. No one's watching that. Who's watching that? Well, Man United and Fenerbahce. We can watch that tonight. Or the Spurs fans today playing Alzi Alkmaar. Don't know. Anything else? Europa League's tough, man. We gotta get out of this. We gotta get out of this. Then there's Europa League and there's Conference League as well. What team's in the Conference League? Chelsea, the big boys. Greek. Rebranded. Come on, man. You man playing Panathinaikos tonight, man. Don't miss that, man. Box office stuff. Who's that English team in the thingy league? Brian? Oh, sorry. I'm doing this in real time. There's another English team down there. There's not just Chelsea.
No.
It's not just Greek. Oh, are they out or something then?
I know, I can't see it. I don't know. They're not playing tomorrow.
It
today.
is a sad story, man. Champions League or nothing. Don't watch nothing, man. Next year we're gonna be we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back. And that is the end of our sports headlines. Let's get into Dana Air. I can't do this.
So of course you can't do it. What you mean?
I feel like I know you, innit?
You know my password though. My bosses are so random. I can never get hacked. Actually, let me not say that I have enemies. I apologize. I am Nigerian, so I will bite back.
Did you put all of these in this doc?
What?
What does?
Did this Dana Air?
I'm not too sure. It depends.
Who did? Let me see the last one. I want to see the fastest woman knockout in history.
Yeah, I saw this one.
I think Brent did that.
I
Did
did
you
not
do this,
do
Brent?
that. I don't touch this doc.
Oh no. Oh no.
Atkins reluctant to come out of her corner. Ada left up 1, 2, 3, 4. It was Lamb
Was that first
versus
round?
Lion. It is
What do you mean she
over.
fell?
Quickly.
No, do that. Play that.
That was
That
round
happened
one.
too quick. I blinked.
Reluctant to come out of her corner. Ada left up 1, 2, 3, 4. It was Lamb versus Lion. It is over.
Round one.
Are you serious?
But that's like
Reluctant to
2
come out of her
seconds
corner.
into
Ada
it.
left up 1, 2, 3, 4.
play
It
that.
was
I keep
Lamb
blinking.
versus
Where was that?
Lion.
Where was
It
that?
is over.
She laid the combo, the 6-piece combo, like it was light.
Reluctant to come out of her corner. Ada left up 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, sorry, it was 7-piece
It was
combo.
Lamb versus Lion. It is over.
She didn't even let the 7th land. She said, no, I'm
No,
landing.
she was running back.
Reluctant to come out of her corner. Ada left up 1, 2, 3, 4. It was
it's
Lamb
sleeping
Was
He put
that
this
the
in
girl
the
even a
doc, you know.
boxer?
I find it more funny that he put this in there. I find it more funny that he put this in there than the video.
Yo, that's wild, yo. Mad.
That's too jokes.
I'm sorry, that is so dumb.
Yo, that's wild. That's so wild.
That is crazy. Boy.
Oh man,
That's mad.
oh fuck.
That's mad.
No one's done it here because we love women's sports. But I just thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah, so her coach is done out here. Her
I'm
and
saying somebody
she and her
is.
coach. She's done out here, actually, as a matter of fact. She clearly was done in round 1.
For real.
How many rounds are there in boxing?
Could be 12.
For her, it was just one. You know what I mean?
And that's the first one.
Yeah, for her. Yeah.
Don't waste everyone's time and day.
Oh man, that's
You've done that in the park.
All right then, my coach.
Silly.
Coach the team.
All right.
A whole fight comes. Oh, let's wrap this bad boy up. know what's on there. I don't know what we've done today.
This guy.
Well, you can do it, man.
All right, people. So, of course, we had a great show today, man.
We had a
Obviously,
fantastic show, actually.
We bigged up in Black History Month, our Lest We Forget segment.
First of all, bigged up Black History, Daryl Blake.
Yes, we did.
Black icon.
Future legend. Legend already. Living legend.
Remember. He is he's been nominated for an award. The category is Role Model of the Year.
Yes.
So I'm going to put the link in the chat. Make sure and vote for him and vote for the other contestants.
I just love
candidates.
Daryl, you know.
Yeah, man.
What a wonderful man.
Yeah, he's the best, man. All right.
Yes. Today, in our Black History Lest We Forget segment, we bigged up the legendary Steve Biko. And we also bigged up the legendary Angela Davis. You know what I'm saying? So
did.
listen back to that so you can get some insight into
Some
why
history.
they're so, you know what I mean, pivotal. We also spoke about Keir Starmer rejecting calls for slavery talks and reparation talks. Man said he's not interested.
He said I gave you the convicts.
There you go.
I'm joking, he didn't say that. But, you know.
He might as well have said it. Right? So, and also...
Did you see that report that he was very annoyed at the reactions of the people that were...
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
he didn't say it.
It
But
is what it is. But yeah, we also spoke about Yvette Cooper, the Home Secretary, who basically spoke about new government reform after the Chris Kaba verdict. And we also spoke about Keir Starmer insisting that there will be no damage to his relationship with Donald Trump, despite people from the Labour Party who have volunteered to go over and help the Democrats in the coming up election. South Korea as well warned that they would send weapons to Ukraine because they heard how North Korean troops are going to Russia to help Russia in that particular war. They're not happy with that. And we spoke about trigger warning here, the woman who was arrested following the deaths of 3 people in a care home. They think it might be intentional carbon monoxide poisoning, but we don't know.
Mad.
We don't know at the moment. Unfortunately, we also heard at least 5 people were killed in an attack at a Turkish aviation company. And we also spoke about BRICS, man. BRICS, that union there, with all those powerful nations, they're just expanding and expanding. It's looking like the stronghold of the US is not like it was 10, 20 years ago. We also spoke about the NHS looking to trial a superhuman artificial intelligence tool as well that predicts patients' risk of disease and dying early. Hopefully that will work. And we also spoke about the woman who tried to get away with fly tipping, but they
she
caught
didn't
her.
try, man. She didn't try.
They caught her and she's been fine, man. And of course, we had the legendary Oritsé Williams here.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Amazing interview.
Yeah.
Once again, appreciate you coming in,
We sure do.
dropping the jewels that you did, the exclusives you gave us.
Broski.
Hella
You're welcome
exclusives.
back anytime, man.
Yes.
Welcome back anytime, man.
Definitely.
And yeah, man, again, you guys, we appreciate you tuning in
Every single day, man.
8 a.m. We'll be here tomorrow.
We will.
Same time, man.
But don't forget, you can you can. Please do. Please like our video, subscribe to the channel, share this episode, follow us on socials as well. We are The Day After TNB on Instagram, on X, on Discord, and on TikTok. But yeah, man, we'll see you guys Friday Fun Day. We'll see you guys here back tomorrow morning. Have a great day.
Peace.
Bye.